Blank check with Griffin and David. Blank check with Griffin and David. Don't know what to say or to expect. All you need to know is that the name of the show is Blank Check.
Have you really been to the East Indies, Colonel?
I have.
What's it like?
The air is full of podcasts.
What is he? I'm sorry, what? What happened at the end?
The air is full of podcasts.
Is Barry Corbin in town?
So I spent the entire time watching this movie trying to work on my Rickman. Because every time he comes on screen, it's like, I can do this, right?
And that was the result?
Well, I realized the only way I can
The air is full of spice. I can't really... I had it a second ago better.
The only way I can do Rickman is Rickman underwater.
Which is?
I'm trapped underwater.
I don't know about that.
Potter, why me stuck in the bath?
Drowning Harry Potter.
The water.
He doesn't
won't
say
stop
Harry,
running,
though.
He
Potter.
does,
Doesn't
Mr.
he use-
He says Mr.
Mr. Potter.
Mr.
Potter.
He
I
keeps
can't
on
go
saying
low
it in
enough.
this movie,
On
too.
you. Yeah.
It's like, who the fuck are you talking to?
Potter.
Expelliarmus.
Still waiting on your turn,
The
paper,
dark-
Potter.
The Dark Lord. Now I'm losing it. It's so
Potter,
specific.
Potter,
Yeah, you do need turn.
Potter, Potter.
Hello, everybody.
Did I tell you that kids used to do that to me and say now I couldn't talk? They used to put their hands over my nose
That's stupid.
Why?
because Americans talk through their nose.
But what?
That's not
Hold on.
true.
What are you talking about?
Because I
though?
grew up in England. Might as well get that for the Sense and Sensibility episode. Let's get that out of the way.
Oh, boy. Gotta bump this mic up? Yeah, there we go. Hello, everybody. My name's Griffin Newman.
I'm David Sims.
This is a podcast called Blank Check with Griffin and David, where we talk about filmographies, directors who have massive success early on in their career and are given a series of blank checks, make whatever crazy passion projects they want. And sometimes they clear, and sometimes they bounce.
Baby.
Oof.
Potter.
Sometimes they bounce Potter.
Sometimes there's something you really can't handle the R.
I can't.
You're struggling on the R.
Right.
Rhubarb. Never rub another man's rhubarb. Potter.
Can you get closer? Get closer.
Potter.
Even closer.
How I just shit my pants. Who are you guys?
It's getting worse.
Yeah, it's getting bad.
Mr. Potter.
Who are
I
your guys?
remember
Mr. Potter.
seeing Damon Wayans do a jazz.
No, I don't even know what it is now.
Oh God, we're all drinking out of mugs except for me. I'm drinking out of a plastic bottle.
Do you want a mug?
No, I'm fine.
We started recording 45 minutes after the scheduled time. I'll admit
That's just typical.
right. 20 minutes of that were me having diarrhea, and then there was some heated discussion. Although we forgot to discuss the one thing that's now about to bite us in the ass.
What?
We're recording episodes way in advance. We're banking
yeah.
them up. This is the first we're doing of the Ang Lee miniseries,
Right.
but not the first one you're listening to.
Sure.
And we didn't decide what the name of the miniseries
It's Dave and Griffin's Griffin Dave's podcast time walk. That's what it's called.
That sounds like nonsense.
Well, he's the one who called
Awful.
a goddamn movie
Awful.
Billy Lynn's Long Halftime.
That sounds like magnetic fridge poetry.
But halftime sounds like cast time.
But no, it
It's
doesn't.
sitting right there.
I mean, what are the sweaty ones? Crouching Pod,
Crouching-
Hidden Cast,
No, that's crappy, isn't it? I guess so.
Broke Pod, Mount Cast.
Pot of cast. Then you lose all the words.
That's the problem. A lot of them are that. What was the Broke Pod Mount Cast?
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Eat Pod, Drink Cast.
No, it's eat,
Drink.
drink, man,
Podcast.
woman. So it has to be like eat pod, man. Eat podcast, man, woman.
Can't you do... No, this is sweaty too.
Ride with the podcast.
Potting casts.
Yeah.
Podcasting.
We could go off of Hulk and it could just be called Podcast. No, but what if it was eat, comma, drink, comma, pod, comma, cast?
There are no commas.
There's no commas.
Oh, fuck. Then never mind
You're
that.
fucking with
Come on.
another language at
I
this
think
point.
it's Broke Pod, Mount Cast, right?
What about ride with the podcast? Podcast with the devil? Ooh.
Are you guys doing that one?
Podcast
We're
with
doing
the
them all.
devil.
Oh, we
Yeah.
do them all.
Nobody's gonna listen.
Hey, wait a
Me. We
second.
have a very exciting
Wait a
academic book for that episode.
I'll have you know that the basement on our episodes is just high enough to validate us being completists.
Correct.
We've tested this because we've done movies that like no one should fucking watch.
Right.
Yeah.
And we've had a breakthrough point now where at least some people listen to the movies that people haven't seen.
I listen to Way to Water.
Oh,
I was
humble
about
brag.
to say that's a real perfect example.
Plus, you get Han and Stefanski. I mean, those are two of the hottest
H&S.
guests in the game. Yeah.
Yep.
Hi, Karen.
Hey, Karen.
Hey, Karen.
How you doing?
How you doing, Karen? I'm eating a gummy bear on mic.
Sure.
It's probably the worst sounding thing I've ever eaten on mic.
Yeah, it's gross. I like Broke Pod Mountcast.
Broke Pod Mountcast.
I
Okay.
think that's good. Let's just
I
go
think
with
that's
that.
what it is.
Yeah.
All right. It's Broke Pod Mountcast.
And this has
And
been
we've done it.
thrilling for people to listen to because they've already known the name of the miniseries
That's
for
correct.
2 episodes.
That's correct. It's
Yeah.
July right now. I hope
Well-
it's sunny.
Would
Yeah.
you want to flip it though? I don't know. Sounds like you're breaking your pod, mounting your cast.
Broke Pod Mountcast. Well, you know what? That's how it works.
Flip it. How would you flip it?
So pod back,
Pod back,
casting.
Castaigne.
Podback Mountcast isn't bad.
Podback Mountcast
Should we start over?
versus
No.
Broke Pod Mountcast. Yeah, Podback Mountcast
Yeah, pod back.
Podback.
versus Broke Pod.
Right, because I feel like Brokeback was the thing that everyone said. They shortened it to Brokeback. So I
Podback-
think back is more important to keep in there, you know?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Podback Mountcast.
Podback Mountcast, Mr. Potter.
All right.
Mr. Potter, Mr. Potter.
So this of course,
Going somewhere. Yeah.
Going to Podback Mountcast, Mr. Potter.
Am I evil?
as we all
We'll
know,
find out.
this is Podback Mountcast.
Mhm.
And today we're talking about
It's
Ang
the
Lee's-
films of Ang Lee.
It's the films of Ang Lee. 2-time Academy Award winner.
That's right.
3-time.
2.
Because
Two.
he gets the trophy for foreign film.
The country is given the trophy, so it's not his.
2-time Best Director winner.
Like Taiwan can let him have it, I
Sure.
think, but the trophy is always given to the country,
Oh.
not the filmmaker.
And let me tell you, Taiwan lets him have it, if you know what I'm saying. They do not get off his case.
Like when
Why don't you write? Why don't you call anymore?
when the nomination is, it's like Crouching Tiger, Jack in Taiwan, and then they'll be like, "This is Taiwan's first Oscar."
and
After
then the director
3
is always the one who
nominations.
gets to come up on stage.
The director gets to come up because he can't.
'Cause
The
you
whole
can't- the country
go
can't.
up. I mean, think about it.
That's some bum fucking deal that you work so hard for
kinda
this
fun.
movie, and then the country's like, but remember who
Yoink.
birthed you?
I mean, what are you gonna do?
Imagine if I won an Oscar and then my dad was like, remember where you came
Give
from?
me a piece of that.
My balls. That's what you would say.
And the Oscar goes to
My balls.
Griffin's
My man.
dad's balls.
My man. Yeah.
My balls. Nothing but respect for my balls.
Hey, Shirley.
Great episode. Ben, let's cancel it. Let's cancel the whole thing.
Yes. Yeah, Ben. Can you just kill us both right
Yeah.
now? And
Murder us.
Well,
cover it up?
after yesterday's recording session, I think I might.
Yesterday's might have been the worst thing we've ever done.
It was over 3 hours with you guys.
Wow.
But we were in good moods.
Yeah,
I was
sure.
in a good mood.
And we
Challenge
were
accepted.
we were charming.
We're not even going to say which episode that was, so we'll leave it to you guys to guess.
Yeah, it came out either 2 years ago or will come out 5 years from now.
Or I buried it with your bodies somewhere.
Yeah, the raw audio footage. We have
But
a
at this
great
point,
guest.
we've been dead for a decade by the time
Right.
this
Yeah.
episode comes out.
Right. We have a great guest.
Who's been doing such a good job speaking before we introduce.
Damn right. Damn right.
Doing my best.
I mean, we used to work together. I don't
I
know.
guess.
Yeah.
Well, you guess. It was a great year.
You just called me your intern.
Yeah, you were an intern, and I was your direct
No, it's
superior.
Unbelievable.
Fair.
No, I was not your direct superior. We worked together. Mostly, I would just slack you and be like, "Is anyone else in the office?" And you'd be like, "No,
No, it's just me.
it's just me."
So
And I'd be like,
everybody
"Great, I'm
started
not coming in."
Well, but then like later on, I'd be like, "No, come in. There's like people," and you
Yeah.
were still not coming in.
No,
So
no.
nothing
And then
worked.
they just took my desk away.
They did.
Remember that?
Yes, they
And
did.
then I finally did come in, and I was like, "Where's my desk?" And you were like, "Don't talk to me."
They just took your home.
You were like, "I'm busy."
Hey, listeners, don't say ew when you hear the name of this guest. Say EW,
Sure.
because it's Entertainment Weekly's own
Shirley Lee.
Don Pardo came back for sure.
Nassim Pedran.
Melissa Villasenor. I wish he was around to say that name.
He would have made a meal out of that
would
one.
have been 5 minutes.
Melissa Villasenor. Musical guest. SZA.
There's so many things he would have been running wild with right now.
God. Who was that country guy on recently where I was like, I saw his name and I was like, is this like a hip hop guy? And it was like,
Stapleton? No.
Chris Stapleton?
Yes.
Is that right?
I don't.
Yeah, that sounds
listen to
right.
it. Chris, yes.
He had like a big beard.
Yeah.
I never know who the musicians
Me
are
neither.
anymore. I'm so old.
I'm not cool.
Do you know?
Do you know?
Okay.
Are you hip?
Your finger
I
on
know.
the pulse, right?
Remember when Taylor dropped 1989 and we spent all day in the
Did you
office
say
listening to it? 1989. 1980. Is it 89?
You're old.
Well, it was hard to shake that one off. It was hard to shake that one off, Mr. Parker.
I don't.
No, do you remember that? And it was piece 6. It was the French.
Yeah, it was
the French leak.
It was piece 6.
Remember piece 6?
It was track 6, and then a couple of them were switched around.
Yeah.
We had a good day.
We had a blast
that was
day.
a good day.
Anyway, this is Shirley Lee.
Yeah.
Yes, hello.
Entertainment Weekly. What's your title these days?
I am now. Oh, by the time this comes
Exactly.
out, I am a staff writer.
Damn right.
Hells yeah.
Hello.
Special guest Shirley Lee.
On the
Musical guest.
The chain smokers.
No. No, I refuse.
Imagine Dragons.
See, that's the thing. If Pardo was saying it, we really would imagine those dragons.
We would. We'd be like, oh man, imagine them.
When Hammond says it, it sounds like a request.
Alex Moffat.
Imagine Dragons?
John Rodnitsky.
John, no, forget it. He's gone. What's the new guy? Lucas Neff.
No.
Neff
No.
is Raising Hope.
Oh, that's the Raising Hope guy.
Yeah.
Love that guy.
Who hot trivia fact, do you know he was supposed to be the titular good dinosaur in The Good Dinosaur?
Yeah, and they fired him.
Yeah.
Wasn't good enough.
They cast a 6-year-old.
I think that's like literally true.
It's literally like that movie then just starred children.
Shirley, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for
for
being
joining
here.
us.
Thank you
used
for
to work at
having
the
me.
Atlantic,
Yes, I did.
but now you work at EW.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
So I'm no longer working for you.
And you're moving out to LA. EW
Yes.
is going to La La Land.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yes, we are.
We're in Nike land, but soon it'll be in
no.
La La Land.
Right, but this is we gotta
Spaha.
sneak you in here before you move.
WeHo Spa. WeHo
Shirley's
Spa.
moving to WeHo.
You're
you hear
mo-
this?
Really?
WeHo.
Yeah, well, no, I'm on
She's
the
a
Eastern
WeHo gal.
Edge.
Okay,
Yes.
what? E-WeHo. I don't know.
WeHo.
WeHo.
Wow. Sounds like something from Avatar.
Wait a second. But how do we hope?
What? Hey, when you kill him, can you bring him back and kill him again?
Yes.
You know, double kill.
How do we home?
That's our new bit now. It's just if we say something not funny, you just add Mr. Potter.
And you have to just gargle your
Just
way through it.
it. As he's being drowned.
Yeah.
Like that's if Harry went wild and he starts killing me, Mr. Potter. You know, like that's where that would have gone.
Can we just have a bottle of mouthwash in here so anytime I want to do Alan Rickman, I can take a swig?
Yeah.
Sure.
Great. Put that on the per diem. I don't know, budget. Like Chick has a big per diem budget.
But we had to sneak you in here. You're moving like a week from when we record.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
And also,
Okay.
Shirley's got a lot of rivals in the audio boom, so we had to sneak her past.
That's true.
Yeah. They were all looking out for me.
Yeah, Shirley's going to WeHo, but before she does, we
We have to knock some
have
sense
to
into her. Some sense and
Sensibility.
Censored.
Your host, Sense, with musical guest, Sensibility.
That was some fucking solid gold shit, my friends. My God.
Wow.
Oh my God.
My brother.
That was amazing.
My brother Jamesy and I used to do this bit when my parents went out and they asked like us to loosely look after our sister, who my sister Romley, because she was much younger than us.
Yeah.
And when it wasn't like, hey, you have to babysit, but it was like, we're going out for like 30 minutes. Can you look after her?
Yeah.
We would do this bit with the landlines where we would go into one room and we'd call. There were 2 lines on the phone.
Right.
So we'd call the main line off the second line. And we knew that Romley would pick up, and then we'd pretend to be Don Pardo.
Did she get that?
And she'd go, Romley, it's Don Pardo.
And she'd be like, "Hello?"
clean up your room.
And she didn't know what it was, but she'd go, I hate you, Don Pardo. Stop it, Don Pardo. You're haunting me.
Oh, Rob.
Yeah.
What a class act she is.
Yeah, one of the best in the biz.
All right.
Well, thank you all for listening. Please remember to
Shut up.
subscribe.
Shut up, Mr. Potter.
The fourth film from Ang Lee.
Fourth film, but first English language film.
Yes.
It's actually a film with an amazing development process. I
Mhm.
read a lot about it.
Me too.
Did you read a lot about it, Shirley?
I did. I studied somewhat.
Great.
First screenplay by Emma Thompson.
Emma T.
The producer, Colleen Duran. Is that her name?
Her
No.
name is
Lindsay.
not that.
Lindsay.
Lindsay Duran.
Okay, had the last name right. Colleen
Yes.
Duran is a comic book artist.
That sounds right. I
Yes.
knew that name was familiar. Yes.
She had a kind of miracle run in the 80s. She had a really good fucking run as a producer.
Let me go through some of those movies that she produced. Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Boom.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Boom.
The Naked Gun.
Boom.
Pretty in Pink.
Boom.
Ghost.
Boom.
And then she makes a movie called Dead Again.
With
Emma Thompson.
and Kenneth
Kenneth Branagh, who
Gilderoy
later
Lockhart.
cheated on her, and
Yes.
she used that for her Love Actually performance.
You've
Yes.
been reading the headlines
I
today.
had. That was today. I mean,
Yes.
actually,
Really?
I knew that already, but she talked about it.
Yeah, that Branagh.
that already.
He left her for her Howard's End
Helena.
castmate Helena Bonham Carter.
Right, and then
Helena.
Helena Bonham Carter left him for
Tim
Tim
Burton.
Burton,
Burton.
which was kind of like everyone's like, ha, he got Branagh.
Who's he with now? Kenny.
He's married,
Is he
I believe.
to the Orient Express?
He's married to the Orient Express.
spouse Lindsay Brunnock.
Yeah.
All right.
Um,
Married for 14 years, 15
Emma.
years.
Emma T met her second husband on this film.
Yeah, Greg Wise.
Yes.
Who is a hottie. Hello.
Mhm.
Yes.
she traded up, but Branagh,
Kent's fine, but Greg Wise is hotter now because he has this like soul patch now. It's not good.
Yeah, not a good
Branagh
decision.
and Thompson had sort of come to Hollywood together because he was this like wonderkind.
Right.
Everyone went, "Oh, he's the next Orson Welles,
The
he's
next
Laurence
Olivier. Right.
He's directing and starring the Spielberg Shakespeare adaptations."
Steven Spielberg's Henry V. Give me the gummies back.
Yeah, fine.
You ate so many.
They come together.
Hush. You can go to hell, Shirley
I'm
Lee.
going to WeHo.
Yeah, it's another name for him.
Wow.
La La Land. So they land in Hollywood together. They make
La
a
La
big
Land in
splash.
Hollywood, more like.
Jesus Christ! God,
Did you get that one, Ben?
I'm ignoring you now.
Do you want to like?
checking text?
You want to make me drop some audio after that one? That was so good. Like,
What did you do?
CNC Music Factory.
You suck, David. No.
Celebrate good times. Come on.
That's not CNC Dance Factory.
I know, but I was making a new suggestion. And it's Music Factory, not Dance Factory. Guys, we gotta get it together.
Hey Ben, it's time to talk about Brooklinen, my favorite sheets, my favorite friend of the show.
You love these sheets.
I love these sheets. They are new bedding that I have discovered, and I am very excited that they're back with the show. Brooklinen.com. Listen, Ben, you paying
What's up?
attention?
Yes,
You spend a third of your life in sheets.
it's true.
I didn't mean to blow your mind, but it's true. We all sleep. You like sleeping. I like sleeping. You want to do them on nice sheets, maybe the best sheets.
Now here's the thing. I don't have sheets on my bed. So I'm
That is
all
unbelievably
ears.
plausible.
I'm all ears.
All right, so if I just were to say, do you want some sheets? You'd probably be like, sheets, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
But this is a company that was founded by a husband and wife team in April 2014. They got a philosophy of beautiful, comfortable home essentials with no crazy prices. So they don't mark this stuff up. They just make you some of the best online bedding that you can get. Brooklinen.com.
Now I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Did they win any awards?
Maybe they won a Good Housekeeping Best Online Bedding Award. Is that what you're thinking of?
Okay, yeah. Yeah. Well, I wasn't thinking, I was asking.
Have you heard that they have 20,000 five-star reviews online? Because they're the fastest growing bedding brand in the world.
Damn. Well,
Wait, you hadn't heard that?
no.
Well, now you know.
Here, wait. I don't know. Maybe this is crazy.
Uh-huh.
Because again, I don't own sheets. I have none.
Again, strange decision by you, a man in your 30s to not own sheets, but okay.
You just get used to it.
Yeah, sure. Get used to anything.
Yep. Do they have, though, perhaps maybe like a cool pattern or maybe some colors that are outside of what you normally expect?
They got patterns. They got colors. You can even mix and match. You know, you want a pattern flat sheet and just a solid bedspread, you go for that. You do whatever you want at brooklinen.com. It's anarchy over there, but controlled anarchy.
Right. So it's like it's luxury bedding, but underpriced. I mean, I got to try these sheets today.
They are genuinely good. As I like to talk about, I basically spend all my time in bed right now because I have these Brooklinen sheets that I got. I got the Luxe brand. You can get the non-Luxe brand. The regular brand's also good. But they're the best, most comfortable sheets I've ever slept on, and they have an exclusive offer for Blank Check listeners. You can get $20 off and free shipping when you use promo code CHECK at brooklinen.com. And Brooklyn is so confident that they offer a risk-free 60-night satisfaction guarantee and a lifetime warranty on all of their sheets and comforters. So the only way to get $20 off and free shipping is to use promo code CHECK at brooklinen.com. That's BROOKLINEN.com, promo code CHECK. It's Brooklyn, and they're the best sheets ever. All right.
Thompson and Branagh make this big splash.
Thank you. Yes.
And they're viewed as this amazing power couple.
They are a bit.
But what people don't understand, because Emma Thompson comes to prominence in the States as this very serious actress in these Tony literary films.
You talking about Emma?
Yes,
Yeah.
is that she started out in sketch comedy.
She did. Like almost any Brit, she can do it all.
Hugh Laurie, Stephen Fry,
Yep.
Emma Thompson. They were treading those boards together.
In Cambridge. They were
sketches, laughs, make-em-ups.
because like Cambridge Footlights, like that shit, it's kind of like Harvard Lampoon. You know, it's like, ooh, the smart schools got the funny people.
Right.
You know, they get to have everything.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she was very famous.
So
I believe they won the Perrier Award,
I believe they did.
which is a big deal.
So push forward to the 90s. She's viewed as a serious actress. She's got a couple nominations under her belt. She's won Best
She
Actress.
wins an Oscar
She won, yeah.
in 1992.
Right.
I mean, for Howard Zinn.
But while this transition is happening, Lindsay Duran has started revisiting a promise she made to herself as a young girl. If I ever make a career in Hollywood, if I'm ever to become a successful producer,
Right.
I want to adapt Sense and Sensibility.
Right. Her favorite book, and, you know, Austin, not in style.
No,
Very much not in style.
no.
Certainly
Prior
not in
to
Hollywood.
the sort of Austin revival.
This is the Austin
Mania,
revival.
yes.
This and this same year as the BBC Pride and
Pride and
Prejudice,
Prejudice.
which
Right.
is like both of those sort of
and
make it cool again.
ends with Jane Austen's Mafia.
And Persuasion was also this year. So that was-
With Kieran Hins,
Yeah.
he is hot
Oh, there you
in
go.
that thing.
Karen
Cat?
Hine in this too?
Hello, Steppenwolf.
So she goes, it's time. I took a day off. I took a plane, a train, an automobile. It's time for me to finally make Sense and Sensibility.
I'm pretty in pink.
She's pretty in pink.
I'm a ghost.
Okay. Well, geez, come on. No time for bits. So she goes, who should I get to write this? And she's scanning, looking far and wide for the right screenwriter when she sees some of Emma Thompson's old sketches.
Sure.
And she goes, this is tweaking that
Yeah.
era, the social mores of the time.
Oh,
This is the modern bent I need on. So she goes to her and goes, can you write this? And she goes, I'm not a screenwriter.
that's true. She'd never written a screen.
But
Right.
eventually kind of chips away at her, so she works on it. Fine, I'll do it.
And for years, you know, like,
Cracking
because
it for
this movie
years.
comes out in 95, and
Yeah.
I think she hired her in like 1990.
One,
1990.
1990.
yeah, it spans the time of, she hires her when she's an emerging actress, and by the time the film's actually going into production, she's won an Oscar.
Right, which is why she's in the movie.
Right, because originally she was not planning
No,
to be in it.
she's horribly miscast. She's very good anyway, but she's
You know,
crazy
she
wrong. for the
wanted
role.
it to be.
Um,
The Richardson sisters.
Kieran Hins. Yes, right. Yeah.
Yeah, she wanted Kieran Hins to play both.
No. She wanted Steppenwolf as one,
Right.
and Kieran Hins
Right.
as the other. So
Right.
he would play both,
Yes.
but, you know, Kieran Hins as himself,
Yeah.
the younger.
What if the sequel to Justice League is Steppenwolf starting the Steppenwolf Theater Company? And it's just,
And then also he releases Born to be Wild.
yeah, Darkseid, Metron, Orion.
Yeah.
They all start a theater company.
Yeah, exactly.
Granny Goodness.
Yeah.
Big Barda. I could keep going.
It's like this all the time.
Constantly.
No, I know.
Even off mic.
I feel
even worse off. This is restrained.
I mean, I was kind of nervous coming into this because I was like, I'm going to be seeing them in the wild.
Yeah, it's like
I'm getting it.
Getting in the cage with the lions.
We hang out all the time. Shirley.
You and I hang out,
Yeah.
David.
Oh, the
Griffin,
three
I've
of
only
us.
known in like
Very serious professional capacity.
yes, breaking big.
Yeah, Shirley came and did a piece on set of The Tick, and I was breaking big. People kept on saying it on set. Like, yeah, look at that guy, he's breaking big.
What a disaster.
Emma Thompson wanted the Richardson sisters.
Yes, she did. Jolie and Natasha.
Right.
R.I.P.
But by the time that the film was actually getting a green light, Emma Thompson was such a big movie star that they said, you gotta be in it.
Right, but didn't she also say that she kind of wanted to do it afterwards? Because she was so immersed in the script and this would help her approach it from an acting perspective.
Yeah. And it does kind of work because the character's supposed to be 21 in the book, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which, if you saw a movie today starring a 21-year-old and they kept on referring to her as an old spinster, you'd be like, what the fuck is going on?
It's appropriate in the book, yes.
Right. There's certain changes they made like that. She talked about how she increased the level of their wealth so that the drop in lifestyle would
at the beginning
be easier to understand.
Yes.
Certain things she did for
a
modern
she tweaked
prison.
things, but I've read that book. It's a good adaptation.
I've never read the book.
I've read them all.
Yeah.
Humble brag. I've read every
Are you an Austen fan, Shirley?
I am.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't read them all, though. I haven't read her posthumous ones.
Lady Susan.
Lady Susan.
A Girl Who Kicked the Hornet's Nest.
Yeah.
Right? That was
Yes.
on the posthumous
That
one.
Right, the castle that exploded or whatever.
Mhm.
No,
Goblet of Fire.
in college, I took a Jane Austen class, which in England,
Please
it's
go on.
not like a particularly radical thing to do.
Wait. You're confusing two stories here. So you went to college, but also you were in England at a different point in time on a vacation or something?
I thought we got this out of the way. How you doing, Ben?
Clarify.
Yeah.
No, we need to revisit
I grew up in England, which included attending university there.
Oh.
The
my God.
Newcastle University.
Oh my God.
I believe
No.
Claire Lamont was my Jane Austen professor.
Okay.
And it was every class at college was 40 people.
Mm-hmm.
So lectures were 40, and then you'd split up into little groups of 5. And I was the only boy. There's 39 girls and me.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
Wow.
weird.
Now, did you feel threatened?
Yeah,
David?
exactly. I felt like they were all Ghostbusters,
Then- I gotta say, that kind of busting makes me feel bad.
So I read, obviously, when taking this class, I read all of Austen's novels.
Yeah.
I'd read a couple before.
At knife
but-
point,
Yeah, Claire was like, listen.
39 women came up to you and said, you better get it.
So lonely.
Yeah.
The one boy.
But it is a pretty good adaptation.
I think so, yeah. I think this is the best Austen film adaptation, bar
Interesting.
none. I do think, the BBC Pride and Prejudice miniseries is better, but that has the advantage of being 6 hours long.
Right.
So you can really... What do you think, Cheryl?
When I think about Austen adaptations, I like the BBC Pride and Prejudice. I like the BBC Emma.
Yeah.
I like
Clueless.
Clueless.
The
if
BBC
you can
Emma
count
is
that.
good.
Yeah.
Clueless
you should
rules.
Count that.
So
Clueless
good.
is great. You love Clueless.
It's it's like the movie I've seen more than any other movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this one, because it kickstarted it, really, I think it does. It
Clueless
sets the
is
bar.
the same
It sets
year
a high
too.
bar.
Oh,
That's
crazy.
nice. Yeah. 95.
It was just kind of a masterstroke to bring in someone who from a comedy background.
Well, yes, that
Yeah.
right, but then also to bring in a director who I think at this time barely spoke English.
Correct.
Certainly didn't know Austen very well.
No.
Well, he went to school here.
He went to school here. Okay,
So-
what?
He went to
but
NYU.
he wanted to be an actor at one point, and his English wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
He's so handsome. He would have been a nice actor.
Okay.
First, why did I think that on the set of this?
He did not
did.
speak English very well.
I
It's
read
true.
some interview.
It
with
wasn't
him
like
where
he had to
was-
speak through a translator.
He may
but
have
like,
been.
right.
He may have been being self-deprecating.
It's not like
Right,
Jean-Pierre
he was
Jeunet when
"Oh,
he
I couldn't
directed
communicate with
Alien
people."
Resurrection literally couldn't speak to the cast. I think this with Ang Lee, he just didn't feel super comfortable in his English. Like it was, he was directing in a second language, and it was very much a
Right.
second
There's-
language.
It was
There's-
also a cultural. There was also a cultural barrier.
Well, right.
Right.
There's this Emma Thompson interview where she talks about how brutal he was, not in a, I don't think where he would just come up and be like, "Can you try and look less old?"
Yes.
Right.
Which I think is a really funny thing for someone to say to,
Yeah.
or just come in and be like, "Boring." That was boring.
But he
Yes,
also,
this is boring.
he also,
boring.
yes,
It's my big note.
he said that in China the tradition is kind of like that the director is deferred to
Taiwan.
on all counts.
Yeah.
In Taiwan,
He's from Taiwan.
yes. The director is deferred to on all counts. And so when he was on set and like Hugh Grant and Emma Thompson would go like, oh, could I do this? He would feel like they were threatening his position. Like they were disrespecting him.
So this is where he's learning to collaborate.
There was a two-way street kind of thing where both sides were like, I haven't worked with someone who works like this before. Apparently there was also a lot of meditation on set.
He wasn't it like he literally was like, you need to chill out, you seem really anxious.
He put like pillows on the floor
Yeah.
and do breathing exercises. The two things he said he was like really big on with this movie were Emma Thompson said she's never worked with a director who was more attuned to body language. And he, you know, likes a sort of unvarnished acting style. And he was very interested in, with a lot of classically trained theatrical actors, removing a certain heightened sense of needing to sort of communicate, project, you know, not like literally project, but sort of very didactically illustrate what they're feeling at all times. That he wanted more behavioral performances, which these actors are not used to giving. And also he wanted to break down their movie star personas.
Sure.
Like he wanted them to just kind of exist. Because Hugh Grant's performance in this is fascinating.
He told him to tone it down.
Yeah. And he was like,
tone it down, Hugh.
I mean, again, I'm sure he was really brutal and direct about it. But no, also it's just this is the height also of Hugh being like all mannerism. Like his 4 Weddings is the year before.
Yeah.
Which is like, oh, well, as you know, Tony Osmond used to say, you know, like just like he takes like 500 years to arrive at a point.
He's like the biggest star in the movie at this point. He's like so hot at this moment.
That's probably true. Although, you know, Emma, again, Oscar winner, blah, blah, blah.
But Hugh Grant was like just exploding.
People were all any Hugh Grant, they wanted it.
Right. And it's like he's got a supporting part. He took a big budget cut. And Ang Lee was like, also, don't do any of your Hugh Grant shit.
Also, Hugh, I've got my eye on you.
Yeah, right. Like, watch it.
Also, did you know where Emma Thompson was born?
Paddington. See,
Really?
I studied. I told you. Yes.
That is cool.
She grew up in Paddington.
That is
which
cool.
is like, now, why hasn't she been in a Paddington?
She should be the villain in Paddington.
Seems like an oversight.
Yeah.
Also, the other thing about this movie is you're like, speaking of Alan Rickman, like everyone in this movie is in fucking Harry Potter. It's like so funny. Like even like the you know, like Cornelius Fudge is in this movie, like where you're just like, Jesus. Like that's all Harry Potter was. They'd be like, put on Sensibility. I'm sure we'll find another actor in there.
Pluck another one out of here.
Well, like
except for Hugh Grant.
Hugh Grant pointedly
never
turned
did it.
down Lockhart. He was the first choice.
And he would have been good. And instead they cast Kenneth Branagh.
So they got Kenny.
Yeah.
Who's good. He's a good Lockhart. He's funny in that movie.
He should go by Kenny B.
You know what? You're right. He should be, Put in some sax music right there.
Now that I'm thinking about it.
Ben's back on his phone.
See, the thing that's funny is when I make a suggestion to Ben and he has this resigned reaction where he's like, yeah, that's probably a good idea.
And then he actually types it in.
Yeah, then he types it in.
He pecks it in.
Hughie Grant, yes. I have a quote from Ang Lee I want to read. Please. Can I read it?
Yeah, please.
Okay, give me a second. I lost it.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
In some ways, I probably know that 19th century world better than English people today because I grew up with one foot still in that feudal society. Feudal, not feudal. Of course, the dry sense of humor, the sense of decorum, the social code is different, but that essence of social repression against free will, I grew up with that. That's Ang Lee's take on
Which is
Sense and Sense.
Pretty smart.
Yeah, he's a fucking smart guy.
And I also think his sort of like behavioral humanist style helps strip this movie of some of the things that can make these films feel distant. You know, if you get too caught up in the sort of trappings of the era, rather than cutting through to the like human struggles, which he understood obviously because he came from a similar type of parallel society.
What do you think, Shirley?
I think that's true, but I also think it shouldn't all, go to, the credit shouldn't all go to Ang Lee.
No.
It's also Emma's changes,
He
I feel
said,
like, really helped it.
And he said, like, I was a hire.
Right.
Yeah. Like, it was,
Right.
the movie started with those two, the producer and Emma.
This is like a very smart collaboration between two people who are unorthodox choices who both brought really interesting things.
It is just crazy, though. It's like, they're like, this is kind of a risky movie, written by a first-time writer.
Right.
Who should we hire? Well, there's this like social comedy from Taiwan I liked. It's like he's not someone like
he'd gotten 2 consecutive best foreign film nominations.
That sounds right. Yeah,
so he was like in that state that happens sometimes where someone makes like a big foreign film. They're like, you want to come to Hollywood, try something out.
Right, but not usually to do a Jane Austen movie.
Right.
Like usually a Jane Austen movie will be done by your, You're Michael Apted. I
Right.
know he never did one, but you know what I mean? Like, you're
You're
sort of
Mike
like,
Newells, right?
Exactly.
But even though Emma Thompson,
middle of the road,
yes,
sort of British
journeyman,
director guy. Yeah.
TV theater guys who had sort of risen through the ranks.
Yeah.
Even though Emma Thompson becomes such a big movie star, everyone was like, "We can't make a film from a first-time screenwriter."
Sure.
Like everyone was still holding that
And
against them.
It also had kind of a big budget. 16 million was
Right.
like a decent sized budget.
And that was because this was post Little Women.
That's right. So
But
they were
yes,
like,
pre the
oh. Good point.
It was pre-post,
All right, so now we've oriented ourselves. It's post Little Women,
right?
pre-post.
Right.
This episode is post Little Women, post-post.
Yeah, correct.
Post era.
But pre our Little Women episode.
Little Women
Papa.
episode. Who directed that one?
That wasn't Mike Newell, right? That was something
No.
like that.
Come
No,
on.
oh, was it?
Come on, one of you two. It's directed by a female director.
Right. It's not Gillian Anderson, is it?
No, that's an actress.
I'm sorry. But it's
Gillian Armstrong.
Thank
Yes.
you. Sorry.
Apology accepted.
Okay. Amy Pascal's the one who gets this movie greenlit because she's got some juice at Sony at this time,
Yes.
and she goes like, "We should take the shot on this. We should take the swing," and it pays off handsomely.
At Columbia, yes.
Yes.
It does pay off handsomely. The movie was a hit, and it got lots of Oscar nominations, and it sparked a ongoing Jane Austen trend
Right.
that they've done.
But I feel like fluctuates.
It does
right?
fluctuate.
Yeah.
It'll come back,
Yeah.
but then you're right. And also then sometimes they're like, Jane Austen biopic? You know, because like they're sort of out of books, so they're like, Becoming
Yeah.
Jane? Are
Yeah.
you into that? And people are like,
Austin
no.
Land.
Right. And the Jane Austen book club, they keep
Yeah.
trying like
Yeah.
these Pride and Prejudice and zombies.
Yeah.
Like there's only one truly great Austen film, and it's this one.
Mafia. Oh, right. Okay.
Because then there's like Emma is like pretty good, but you could just watch this again.
Mm-hmm.
The Joe Wright Pride and Prejudice is kind of
I
like
really like that
I
movie.
really like
I really
the Joe Wright one. Too.
Yeah.
But I feel like it also
I-
takes so many
exactly.
cues from
I
this
think that's
one. So
yes.
it's a pretty good movie that's ripping off this movie and then like taking the stuff out of it that's like too Jane Austen-y.
Yeah.
It also fucks up the ending, in my opinion, so extremely. But whatever.
Yeah.
is this because
It's too like romantic. He's like turning it into a Bronte movie when it shouldn't be. You know what I mean? Like it's
right,
too like,
right.
and it's all
But wasn't
orange.
that an ending that only some audiences saw?
I don't know.
The Pride and
Tell
Prejudice
me.
one? Yeah.
What do you mean?
I feel like it was supposed
Is there
to
two
be
endings? There's like Clue?
No. No. It's just like the very last thing with Lizzie and Darcy. Some people didn't see that. I
Really?
could be lying.
He cut that out?
Well, it's just
Cut
some
it out.
editions were shown.
Interesting.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm looking
Can you
this up.
can you look this up on your laptop?
In the U.S. release of the film,
Mhm.
which is America, big country,
Right.
an additional last
Where
scene
all
shows
of
the
us grew up.
newlyweds
Yeah.
outside of Pemberley Happy Together. Crazy.
Interesting.
Did not know they didn't. So that's
like,
even more insulting almost with those like, well, the Americans get that they like each other.
McFadden's also kind of a wet blanket in that movie.
I actually like him in that movie, but he's playing that character
I
right,
like his
which is
sunrise stroll. That's
Yeah,
all
it's a
I
good
will say
stroll.
about
I
that.
don't think
the
he's
character's
bad.
a fucking jerk.
The character
you know,
sucks.
and he's dialed into that.
Knightley's so good in that, though.
She's good. She is.
Yeah.
And I don't hate that movie. I think it's a so-so Austin movie,
Sure.
if that makes sense.
It's comforting.
It is. It's a good watch. You know,
But then
nice music.
this was so I was looking at
This has some nice music.
This has
though.
some nice
Hello,
music.
Patrick.
right, this is right after he does his Henry score, and it kept on sounding like it was about to go into the
Good
big
score though, right? The big trailer
Crispin's,
music.
yeah, right, yeah. It's like constantly like teetering on that. The thing I was gonna say though is there was like a lot of controversy at the time that Ang Lee didn't get nominated for Best Director because this movie kind of like got the across the board nominations, and he got the Golden Globe nomination and the DGA nomination. So I was like, who did he get replaced by? And this was one of those years where all three of those didn't line up at all. Because like
right,
Ron
'cause
Howard wins the
they also
DGA but
snubbed
doesn't get
Ron
nominated
Howard.
for the Oscar.
That is a weird year.
They
so-
nominate Chris Noonan for Babe.
and Michael Radford for Il Postino, which
Right.
is fucking dumb.
Right, and then Figgis and
And then there's
Gibson
a lone
wins.
Gibson wins, and then Figgis is a lone nom. You know, Figgis's movie was not a picture nominee, and there's
right.
another that
but
was
it's
not
actor
a
and
picture nominee.
actress. There's another that's not a picture nominee.
An actor,
It's another actor director.
another actor director.
Oh, right. It's Tim Robbins for Dead Man Walking.
Right, his first Oscar nomination.
Yeah.
It's odd.
Very odd.
It's a weird year. That to me, that's crazy. I don't think Noonan is a worthy nominee in a lot of ways. I definitely don't think Radford is. I'd put
yeah.
Ang Lee above both of them,
Well, and then the other weird thing with Noonan
and I'd
is like
put Ron Howard above both of them probably.
Noonan gets nominated. It's his first film, and then in the years afterwards, everyone's like, George Miller directed a lot of that movie. And then Noonan doesn't make another movie for 15 years, and when he does, it's Mrs. Potter.
Which sucks.
Right.
Going somewhere.
Mrs. Potter.
It's Mish Potter.
Um,
And then they did a sequel, Peter Rabbit,
yes.
in which Rose Byrne plays Beatrix
I
Potter.
want you to
She
say
plays
it.
Beatrix Potter.
I want Griffin to say it.
Beatrix
She
Potter.
plays Beatrix Potter.
She plays Beatrix Potter.
And that rabbit fucks.
Yes, he does.
It's a rabbit who fucks. Hot rabbit who fucks.
Yeah. Harf.
So there was like controversy at the time.
Harf. Yes, go on. Yeah.
And people said it was like discrimination in Hollywood that he hadn't gotten nominated.
Well, sure, because also how many Asian people had been nominated for Best Director? 0, right?
Big
I'm
Goose Egg.
assuming?
Yeah.
Right.
Little
Yes.
did we know he would later go on to win 2.
Dos.
But at this time,
Hey, Cheryl.
Hi.
Weho.
Hello.
Spaha.
at this time,
Just
Taiwanese government was getting angry and getting loud about it,
Mhm.
and he had to go to them and be like, "Please stop complaining about this. I don't want to
Oh,
make
really?
it
He was
sound
like, this
like
is too much of a fuss. Right.
right,
Yeah.
right. Let's not turn this into
Right.
a thing."
I want to keep working in Hollywood.
It was literally like the country was like screaming
Were they?
Yeah.
Sometimes you exaggerate.
and I also think
in
he
unison.
I also think he made a good point about like, I don't want to be the one person representing
Right.
all
Emma
Asians,
won an
you know?
Oscar.
Right.
Well, that too. Right. Of
Right.
course. But also just the one person, Emma won an Oscar for this movie.
Right.
Yes.
But you're right. Yes. No one wants to be like
The lone representative.
Well,
Even
no,
though
it's
he
also-
is, it's just
then it's annoying where it's like, well, we nominated Ang Lee.
right.
Yeah.
Did we fix everything?
We
I
did
think
it.
so. Goodbye. Anyway, Mel Gibson wins Best Director. Goodbye.
It is interesting.
Mel
though,
Gibson.
Mel Gibson.
He
yes.
won Best Director.
It is interesting that
He was the winner.
For what movie?
Braveheart.
Braveheart. Yeah.
Freedom.
it is interesting to me that Best Director, more so than any other category over the last 12 years, has a greater diversity
Sure.
at the Oscars.
You mean right? Because I'm assuming this Sunday's going to go a certain way, and we're
We're
probably
recording
going to have
before the
had
Oscars.
4 Mexican winners in 5
Right.
years, which
Cuarón,
is interesting.
2 Inarritus, a Del Toro, 2 Ang Lees.
Sure.
I mean,
That's true.
and then there are only a handful of white guys who actually win Best Director
Oh,
now.
those poor white
And
guys.
Alone Bigelow.
Hazan,
And Alone Biggs.
Hazan
Alone
Avicius.
Biggs.
Bigelow.
Yeah, Hazanavicius. He won Best Director.
Yeah.
That
we,
guy.
We did that.
Yeah, that
we
was
let
a
that
choice. Yeah, Ben Affleck didn't even win.
No. Not even Ben Affleck.
Not
Ben
even
the
Miss-
mighty Ben Affleck.
Remember when Ang Lee won for Life of Pi, and then there was that picture of him eating the In-N-Out burger with the Oscar?
It's the best.
That was pretty great.
He's so great.
He seems like a very good person.
My
best.
friend Spike used to always say that any picture of Ang Lee looks like he's about to cry. Because he's got kind of a red nose, and he's
Yeah.
always got like a sort of like wistful smile.
Right, he's got this sort of wan smile
Yeah.
a lot of the time.
Yeah, he just looks like, not like he's
Even though
depressed,
he's-
No,
but like he's touched. Like he's constantly going to cry out of just like gentility.
I feel like he's just touched to be honored.
Yeah.
It's like it's delighted to be nominated.
Overcome
I'm trying to
by
remember-
the complexity of the human condition.
Like, I've watched both of his speeches, and I remember them both being like nice speeches, but I don't remember either
Seems
of
like a
them.
nice
Well,
man.
Seems like a nice guy.
Right. There's one where he says, "I just can't quit you," and then
Right.
Yeah.
the other one
Where he
Sure.
says, I'm the king of the world.
where he says, "Mister."
Potter.
Mr. Potter. Yeah, because right, of course he went to school because he was buds with Spike Lee.
Yeah.
Right.
I always
He
forget
was
about
an
that.
NYU
Ang,
guy.
Ang
Right.
and Spike.
Ang and Spike.
Ang and Spike.
But that's
The
also
two leads.
the big
Yeah.
deal.
They're both my uncles.
Damn right.
His 3 Taiwanese
Shirley's
films.
got a wild family.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wild. His 3
We-
Taiwanese films were like American
2014's Wild.
co-productions.
Oh, sorry. Go on. What?
His 3 Taiwanese films were all like American, like partially American productions.
Right.
He
And
kind of
James
has-
Seamus is always
Right.
is there with him.
He has 1 foot in, 1 foot out until this movie that like fully brings him over to the States.
And then he makes 2 flops and he goes back over.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think his notion was that it was like, okay, I want to be a filmmaker, a Taiwanese filmmaker. Let me go to NYU because that's the best film school. And then after I'm done, I'll go back to Taiwan and work in that industry. But he just couldn't quit America.
I mean, they've got money
Yeah.
for movies.
Yeah.
And they
Um,
want him.
So, the movie,
The
Sense
movie.
and Sensibility.
Ben, what did you think?
Ben
Uh-oh.
texted us about this film
At
last
2
at
a.m.?
last- Yeah, 1:30.
I start watching it.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on?
What?
I have
What are
no
you?
idea.
What are you confused by?
Who are these people? What do they want from each other? What's happening? What happened to that guy on his deathbed?
He's dying.
He's dying. I don't know. It's not clear to me.
Does he eat some fucking baguettes so you get that Tom Wilkinson's dying?
He just seems sick.
15 comedy points.
Thank you.
I'm imagining you going to every single movie you watch being like, who the fuck are these people?
Make it clear.
Oh my god.
I think Tom Wilkinson.
It would be funny if he's like, I am your father, of course, and I am dying.
I think Tom Wilkinson literally does say, "I'm dying" at some point.
Yeah.
He might.
Or once I die. He's on a deathbed. You got that he was on a deathbed.
Did he close his eyes?
Then he needs the hard cut to "Durr," and like a coffin sinking into the ground.
It would have been
fair,
helpful. Would
You
have
need,
been
the scene,
helpful.
you need the cutscene to the funeral.
Right.
Where they're
Yes.
standing around.
At least.
Tom Wilkinson.
Someone's like throwing some dirt,
R.I.P..
you know, ashes to
Very sad for
ashes,
you.
Tom to
Even people
Wilkinson.
just leaving
See
a
you
cemetery
later.
together in
Yeah.
the rain.
That'd be good. Wouldn't they be like, it was so sad when Tom Wilkinson died?
So,
I would have loved
That
that.
guy. He'll be in the Full Monty in a couple years.
goodbye. And then
be
Batman
fair-
Begins eventually.
Right.
Batman will
exactly.
begin in due
Doctor,
time.
doctor, I can't take it. I'm going crazy.
Actually, I'm sorry to embarrass you, Shirley. Quick correction. Bartman is the one who began.
Oh, shit, that's right. That's one of your things.
Bartman began.
God.
One of his things is the nicest way to describe that kind of behavior.
I'm so sorry. I shouldn't say it like that.
I think
we
you
don't know
mean
each other
that's
well enough.
some of your bullshit. To be fair, Ben has a point because we did establish Grandma Rozzi rules on this podcast where if you don't see the body in the coffin, then they're not dead, which is why my Grandma Rozzi's been alive for the last 15 years and just not calling me.
Yeah. Right. You know, every time you bring that up, it's
People
a
love it.
huge bummer.
My Grandma Maz Canedo.
So, yeah, your grandma Maz.
Okay.
I just saw Lupita last night.
Oh, God.
Nobody cares.
Jesus Christ.
Well,
Keep it
Why
in
don't
your
I check
pants.
Chartbeat and see if people care, Shirley?
What did she say?
Lots of
I
interesting
loved your
things.
greatest showman piece.
Lupita.
I mean, she didn't need to say that. She said that with her like eyes and her body language.
Jeez,
She
Lord.
said it with her body language. Ang Lee approves.
Yeah.
Sense and Sensibility. So Mr. Dashwood, the great character that Ben responded to so well, Tom Wilkinson,
Dies.
He dies.
Yeah.
He leaves his estate to his son.
Also leaves this mortal coil.
True.
Okay.
Played by James Wilby.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I suppose I'll take your estate, right?
It's like,
And I'll admit, those for that first scene, you're like, what? Who fucking cares about this?
little
Where's Emma
stodgy,
Thompson at?
Little stodgy.
I'm here for Winslet.
But he says,
He's a huge Evelyn Creatures fan.
look,
Exactly.
I'm leaving the estate to you. I got these two spinster daughters, your sister. They have the gall to be unmarried.
Yeah, one of them's like 27. Yeah.
Yeah. Not even. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they change her age in this to 27,
They do.
right?
Yeah.
Right. And the other one is like 17.
Yeah, right. And they're like, which weird,
Right.
honestly.
And he's just like, just do me a favor. Promise you're going to take care of them.
Right.
And then he goes back to his wife and she's like, no. I like money for me.
Yeah, for my family.
Yes.
So, Eleanor, you've got Eleanor. We love her.
Mhm.
She is played by.
Emma T.
Then you got Marianne.
Kate
KW.
wins.
Oh,
And then
okay.
you got Margaret. Don't forget about Margaret, played by. I forget her name.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I don't think she
It's
was
French.
like. It is
Yeah,
French.
Emily Le...
She changed her
Emily
name.
Le Français.
She
Oh.
changed her name.
Wait,
as
wait,
an
you mean
adult.
after this movie?
After she we don't have to go into this.
Emily
she, like,
Francois.
Yeah, no, she's like an academic now, and she
Oh.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, she's very cute in this movie, but yeah, that was it.
Oh, hiding.
Huh?
Ugh.
Oh, you didn't like me calling her cute?
No.
She's very cute.
She is adorable.
Yeah, she's a cute little girl.
Yeah, she's cute.
Adorable.
She likes
No.
She's
atlases.
adorable.
She is a little adorable
She
for
is a little-
1795 or whatever.
Yeah.
This, you know, like isn't that when it's
Sorry.
set? It's like the 1790s,
Yeah.
Wait,
right?
no,
Yeah.
early 1800s.
No, Sense and Sensibility is the
17
18th century.
It was published.
It was published
1811.
later.
Okay, it was published,
Published
1811.
later.
Whatever. Yeah. Okay.
But this
okay.
is set
Yeah.
pre-Napoleon.
17.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Gonna look it up. When's it set? Do you know who the original edition was credited to?
By a lady.
A lady.
By a lady.
So
It was anonymously published.
yes.
Published.
Yeah.
Are
But-
you
1811.
serious?
But I love that they
By
just.
a lady?
Yeah, when she was like, no, not my name. But they were like, well, come on, we want to tell people that a lady wrote it. So say it's by a lady.
That's a great impression of Jane Austen.
Yeah,
exactly.
They should have said it was written by.
I gotta do everything around here.
Come on, get my fucking back. I'm Jane Austen.
Oh,
You can go anytime, Shirley, if this is uncomfortable.
Open invitation to leave. They should have said it was published by a period lady.
Oh, like that was her name? Like
Lord Alfonso Lady.
Anyway, she first wrote it in 1795. Published it many years later. You know, it's right around the turn of the 19th century, essentially. And the idea is that England at the time was this very like classical obsessed country. Everyone wanted to look like a fucking Greek statue. They've all got those goddamn curls.
Ringlets.
So many fucking ringlets. And, you know, like sort of intelligence and poise and calm. Like, and then, I've got my little book here, you know, right? And like Kate Winslet's Sensibility, she's the one who's like, she's getting ready for the romantic era. She's like, I want like passion and like I get to like walk around once in a while. Come on, you know, like that's what amounts to like passionate behavior in this, right? She's like, I'm going on a walk. I'll see you later.
And I'm not sitting at my pianoforte.
My pianoforte.
Pianoforte. Yeah. Anytime they say that, I get so jazzed.
So that's what's happening here.
Yeah.
Kind of a crossroads, you know?
And Winslet's 19 in this?
Like the actress?
Yes.
Like how old was she?
She'd done Heavenly Creatures and that was it pretty much, right?
And you know, Ang Lee didn't even want her to audition.
He didn't like Heavenly Creatures. Or he didn't like the performance at least.
Yeah, or at least my understanding of that is kind of like he was like, she played like a psycho in that movie.
Right.
I don't really see her for this.
Yeah.
So they wanted her for Lucy.
Right. And then she walked in and she was like, I will be auditioning for Marianne.
She lies a lot in her auditions.
I know.
Yeah.
She's like very
good for Kate.
But this was one of those like Stars Born performances where like, she gets the Oscar because everyone's like, who the fuck is
Oscar
this?
nomination.
Yeah.
Right. She wins the SAG?
Maybe. I can look it up.
I think she wins either the SAG or the Globe, but she gets nominated for Best Supporting Actress.
I mean, this to me, and it's like burned in my memory. I've seen this movie many times, but I hadn't seen it in a while.
Yeah.
Shirley? Had you seen it in a while?
Yeah, I revisited it a few weeks ago.
For this, obviously. But I mean, but it's just her face when she sees old Greg Wise with, you know, that snooty bitch at the party. Like, he's like burned in my memory where she's just like immediately hard. I remember when I saw it the first time, I was like, this is a star.
Right. It's one of those things where like
you
get an Oscar nomination not because it was like one of the most technically complex performances of the year.
She won the SAG.
But because it's like, Jesus Christ, this person's just hit fully formed.
Right. And then, you know, she gets Titanic off of this.
I thought you said gets satanic.
Yeah, she gets real satanic.
And then books Titanic.
No, she lost the Golden Globe and the Oscar to...
1996?
I mean, 95, 96 Oscars.
Mercedes Rule?
No, that's a couple years earlier.
Oh, right. I always think that movie's later in the 90s than it is.
No. It's kind of one of those ones where you're like, oh, right, they won an Oscar.
It's Mira Sorvino?
Yeah, she's been in the news recently. Which I actually think is a great performance. I love her in that movie.
I've never seen that movie.
Mighty Aphrodite.
Yeah.
Have you seen Mighty Aphrodite?
I actually haven't.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Oops.
I mean, it's an okay movie.
Yeah,
but
that is a weird win.
Yeah, it is a little bit. So anyway, but you know, Kate was young, and they were like, "We'll get to her. She'll make some Holocaust movie like 20 years from now. We'll figure it out."
That's the weird thing is like
years from now.
Winslet's nominated 5 times before she hits 30. So by the time she's 35, it feels like she's Geraldine Page.
I know she gets to the Deborah Kerr zone for sure.
Kate Lose-Lit.
Right. Oh, oh my God. Surely Hollywood's gonna push back if you come in this hot. I'm telling you, it's a tough town.
Can you guys leave? I'll just do this podcast.
Yeah. Shirley's move in Slack used to be. Do you still do this at EW?
There's nobody has fun to do
no
it.
one's this way. So Shirley's move in Slack would be to drop a joke like that, which is just obviously like an atomic bomb in Slack, and then type the leaves emoji as if she's like dashing out leaves. And it was classic Shirley.
When you explain
and then she would come back and be like,
ha,
weird, right? Leaves. Ha, hey, leaves. Like over and over again. She's a very like kinetic slacker.
That's
also
good.
because we had nothing to do.
Yeah, we didn't have a lot to do.
Sure.
In that little transition period
anyway,
there.
Griffin's laughing this.
I'm loving it. I think it's funny. I think it's a good bit. 15 comedy points. What do you want me to say here?
Jesus, will you fucking relax?
Have some gummies.
Shitting bricks over there.
I
I ate all the
shitting
gummies.
Oh, no.
I wish I was shitting bricks. I had diarrhea this morning.
I know. You're shitting water.
Not a joke.
Coming up on an hour.
Cool. Cool.
Remember when we were going to keep this one short?
We got like 10 minutes left. We're good. I'm wrapping this up. We're bringing the train to the station.
Well, it's not it's
Okay.
I mean, it is actually a plotty movie in terms of like lots of little stuff going on.
A lot of smooching.
I mean, basically
a lot of
they're-
backdoor smooching.
Well, not
What?
really. No smooching.
You don't see it on screen, but it's about secret smooches.
No, there's no smooches.
They were gonna.
Secret
They
smooch.
shot a smooch.
Did they?
They did. They
Between
shot
whom?
on Edward and Eleanor.
Sure.
Yeah.
Is there-
Hugh and M's?
Q and M.
Is there actually a single on-screen kiss in this movie?
I don't think so. No.
No.
It's about like secret engagements.
Well, there's
it's
a lot of
about
that.
Yeah.
Looks and
Yeah,
glances.
and like sort of loaded conversation.
Yeah.
You know,
I
and
swear
like
to you, I-
like
No,
flowers.
the final. Oh,
Yeah,
no. Do
they kiss right at the end? It's certainly not one of those kisses where you're like, oh,
It's a kiss! Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
This was just my read of the movie, but I feel like it's also kind of about Sense and Sensibility.
Oh, fuck. I should throw this at you, the weird little fake iPhone.
David's become obsessed. There's a piece of the desk that on the recording studio that comes out so the wires can go through it,
Right.
and David holds it, and it looks like a cell phone.
It
and
looks
he
like a
just
cell
plays
phone
with
because it
like-
has a circle like an old home button.
Yeah.
And we can keep exploring this. I'm cutting all of this out.
We're keeping it all in.
What is
You
this?
are
I
keeping it
I
in.
think-
No,
and
what is
doubling
this?
Oh my
it.
God.
I think that we were going to cut it out until you did that. And
Now it's
funny.
in.
All right, so the first 20 minutes of the movie, maybe even half an hour, is Eleanor, Marianne, and Margaret, and their mom, played by the
Gemma Jones.
mom from Bridget Jones.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And they live in this nice house.
Yeah.
Very nice.
let's also- let's not-
Norland Park.
Yes.
Let's not rush through these first 20 minutes. Okay.
Let's take it slow.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean,
Like all the characters.
my favorite. Well, character name's very important.
Mhm.
And then James Wilby and the wife show up. Who plays the wife? She's another one of those actors who
she's
just
like
kind
a
of
stage
Harriet Walter.
actor.
Yeah. She's great. Love her.
Is Willoughby the original
She's in Star Wars:
fuckboy?
The Force Awakens.
She plays the doctor who looks
Awakens.
after Chewbacca.
Yeah, remember Chewbacca's like, "Rah, rah, rah," and she's like very brave.
Oh,
Yeah, that's her.
yes.
Remember how Force Awakens about how everyone wants to fuck Chewbacca?
Yeah,
Because that doctor's digging
Hee-haw.
him. Maz Kanata's digging him.
that's it.
Everyone's digging him in that movie.
All true. No. Is Willoughby? We'll get to Willoughby.
Is Willoughby the original fuckboy? Is my question.
I think he might be. Willoughby.
Well, I guess.
Greg
Well, yeah.
Wise,
Right.
It's the first novel. So technically, he's the OG.
Right.
He's the
Right.
OG
But
fuckboy.
but a bigger fuckboy
I guess-
is
right.
Wickham.
Sure. Oh.
Wow.
Right? He's like a serial fuckboy.
I guess it gets into how you define
Willoughby-
fuckboy.
Oh.
Like what? Do you know what I'm saying? Like when I see Willoughby, I'm like, that's a fuckboy to me.
Yeah, he is because he knows it.
Well, yeah.
He knows
He's
it.
a little
what
He knows what he's doing.
Stinker.
He's playing. He's playing.
Like Wickham's just kind of like a fucking moron
Yeah, he's
and
an
a cat
idiot.
and a piece of shit.
Willoughby is like, let me knock you up, and then I'm a piece out.
I'll leave.
I'm a
Okay.
piece out.
You
don't
know
know.
what?
No,
What seals
you're
the deal
convincing
for
me,
me
you're
is the
convincing me.
Willoughby speech of like, I have to go to
Right.
London. You know,
That's it's all
So
the wildflowers
fuckboy.
is
Yeah.
a real move.
Yeah.
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 Oh my
Yeah.
god, that's
Right.
like he like no, I just I got
Yeah.
them from a field. No,
No,
anyway,
you're right. He is the original fuckboy of literature. I guess the OG fuckboy is Adam, right?
sure.
I
mean,
gotta eat this apple, honey.
yeah, that's true.
I gotta.
Yeah,
Wait, no.
no, she.
I don't know
tempts
my
him.
Bible. She
Yeah.
eats it.
Yeah,
first.
she's the one who brings it to him.
Yeah.
Have you not read the Bible?
Progressive. So Eve
Genesis-
was
No,
the
it's-
original fuckboy.
It's not progressive.
It's very progressive.
It casts all of humanity's sins onto woman.
Yeah. This is not progressive at all.
I think
What are you
Adam
talking about?
wanted that
It's
apple.
why the Bible's like the Bible just starts out and they're like, God created the earth, and you're like, oh, this
And
is
woman
cool, this is
sinned.
chill, and then it's like Eve, by the way, all her fault.
Wait a
You're like, we're 10 pages in already.
Wait a second. Are you saying the Bible isn't woke?
Not woke. Someone pointed that out. Someone said something like that to me recently. With like, I mean, the Bible is like really problematic. If you think about it, I was like, oh, you think the Bible?
Yeah, but the Bible's cool with gay people, right?
Anyway, we're not here to trash the Bible.
No, it's a good book.
Just cut everything out.
Sure.
What if this episode becomes the most listened to podcast of all time?
That's probably going to happen. I mean, Shirley.
Hey.
Shirley also makes me kind of goofy because, like, I don't know why. Yeah.
Now I'm curious.
I don't know. I'm goofy.
You have previously described Shirley to me as human Pikachu.
As a human Pikachu.
She just makes me happy. She's human Pikachu.
Are you becoming a detective?
That would be fun.
We have to do a special.
You guys
episode
are
of
doing one,
Detective
right?
Pikachu,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, we have to.
We have to. That's got to be on the books.
Do you know the story behind the Detective Pikachu movie? I got a sidebar.
I mean,
here.
I don't know. I mean, there's a Detective Pikachu movie.
Pokemon Go's blowing up, right?
Yeah.
Legendary is like, you know what? Let's pull the trigger. Let's get a fucking Pokemon movie.
Let's get going.
And Nintendo's always been.
This is what I'm saying. She's such a cornball.
She's killing it.
All right,
She's killing it.
Mm-hmm,
What are we talking about?
Legendary is like, let's get a fucking Pokemon movie on the books, right?
Yeah.
Nintendo's always been very protective of their properties. Only now are starting to let people adapt things because they were so burned by.
Because there's a Mario movie coming now again.
Right.
After they were burned by Hoskins.
But also, they only co-own Pokemon with another company called the Pokemon Holding Company.
Holding on.
They're holding on, right?
Yeah.
So Legendary is in like intense negotiations. They're taking pitches from different writers. Max Landis pitches a Pokemon movie in which the characters are children named Red and Blue. You get it?
Ew.
And they're like so close to sign the deal, and everything's great, and they're like, it's leaking out to deadline. Like, Legendary's about to announce a Pokemon movie. They're gonna make a $200 million live action Pokemon movie. And at the last minute, the Pokemon Holding Company is like, we will only let you do Detective Pikachu.
And rather than be like, oh, okay, then forget it. Then they were like, he's a detective?
Because it was
Wait a second, wait. Hold up. He solves mysteries?
right. Because it was at the
Hold on. Is he wearing a trench coat?
it was at the height of Pokemon Go mania, and they were like, we gotta just do it. Right?
Let's do it.
They were like, by the way, before you sign, it's only the detective. You don't get any other characters.
And it was just in the terms and conditions.
Yes.
Yeah,
They
right.
didn't even realize it after that.
Yeah, right. They didn't even know.
I just love that they were like, by the way, you only get Detective Pikachu.
Well, that's kind of what happens in Sense and Sensibility.
Yeah.
They get this house, they move in, and
They're like, by the way, here's
No,
Detective
no, no,
Pikachu.
no. I want to see how you run with this.
yeah, I ran into a wall.
No, there's
What I like
Yeah.
in these early scenes
Uh-huh.
is how nice Hugh Grant is. He's a very nice man.
so sweet.
Well, this is what Emma added to this, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
him playing with Margaret, him having a personality.
Right. She wanted there to be a real connection
Right.
because it would just be like he shows up at the end. He's like,
Otherwise,
I will marry you.
I mean,
you know?
in the book, it's just
Yeah.
that he's a man.
He's a man. Like, come on, what else do you need? He's fine.
and I'll tell you, when you
He'll be a vicar for you.
Fucker.
A vicar.
when you take away or at least tone down Hugh Grant's mannerisms, which I am a fan of his mannerisms.
Me too.
I
Me
like
too.
mannered acting. I think he does mannered better than almost anyone in the game when he's at his
he's got a reputation
fighting weight.
as well for being like really, really particular about his lines. He memorizes them. He memorizes all his like physical movements. Right. He's like
his
very,
blinks,
very
like all that
fussy on
stuff that
set.
people
Yes.
think are just like, oh, he's just like
He's just doing his bullshit.
right. Like he literally writes into his
Yeah.
scripts like furrowed brow.
Right. Like 3 blinks. Yeah.
Right. Like he does like 1,000 takes to get the timing of those things really right.
Right.
But when you tone down that stuff, he just comes across as very gentle and sincere, because
so
then
good in
all
this
the
movie.
blinking when it's less mannered is just like, this guy's really delicate. Like he doesn't know how to express himself.
And I just think it's a bomb ass move for him to take the guest room. I think that's great.
I love
It's
that.
just great. She's like, get the fuck out of the nice room. Hugh Grant has to stay there. And he's like, there was some oversight. So
yeah, I went to
Happy with the
clearly I
shit
was in the
house.
wrong room. yeah.
happy to stay in the
he's
stables with the horses.
Sweet.
He's the sweetest.
He's
Yeah.
very sweet. And so this first 20 minutes, you're like, oh, is this like a movie about like a budding romance
Yeah.
here?
Mhm.
And there's like, oh, he's richer than her, so that might be a problem.
Right.
And then the mom takes the other mom aside and is like, P.S. like,
Not gonna happen.
no.
You
And
will
rather
not-
than be like Gemma Jones being like, that's bullshit. Come on, they like each other. They'll figure it out. Gemma Jones is like, we have to move out immediately.
her eyes get a little
go.
red in that scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
Her
like
eyes
on
are-
the verge of tears.
She's a puffy-eyed actress, at least in this movie.
Yeah, she is.
Yes.
So much like Bizarro Jeffersons, they start moving on down.
They really do.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's like where they just have dinner. This happens all the time in this movie. They just sit down and someone's like, I gotta go to London. Like, fucking now. I gotta go.
I have to go to town.
There's not a minute to lose. And I'm like, it's going to take you like a day. Like,
Right.
are people really going to be like, where were you?
A day, like a week.
Yeah. Like they're not going to be like, oh, the train was due in. There's no trains.
Right,
Just
right.
got to get on his horse.
Yeah.
There's no trains.
I
There's
tried
no
to
trains.
catch the
Regency.
5:15 horse, but I got caught in traffic.
Yeah, right.
And the next horse wasn't until 7:45.
I got caught in traffic on that dirt road that goes to London for horses.
Yeah, this horse, no legs.
I ran into a highwayman. That was my problem.
What if the next
Ben would be a highwayman at this time, right?
Is that like a guy who robs
Stand
people
and
from
deliver, mate.
Yeah, I would.
Get money of your life. I am sorry, it's just the way things go. You're like one of those guys. From the
Yeah.
He's like, oh, how rude. You're like taking your jewelry.
Give me the jewels.
I know how to use this thing. He's got a musket.
I was going to say a blunt object.
I know how to use this pike.
I just had $1 million idea
Sure.
for our blank check picture slate.
Great.
What if the next Liam Neeson
Oh.
Man Under Pressure / revenge thriller is a period piece?
Ah.
So you go like, okay, he's taking
He's
the
on, like-
plane, he's taking the train.
Taking the carriage?
Yeah, you do a horse and buggy thriller
he's-
with Liam Neeson.
And he's getting like carrier pigeon notes that are like,
Yeah.
I'm going to blow up the horse and buggy.
Horse
It's
and
like-
buggy chase.
It gets intercepted by like a highwayman like
Right,
that,
right.
you know?
Wow.
And then they know each other from like doing black ops back
Right.
in like Scotland.
They take his wife as collateral.
And this movie is 5 hours long.
Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
that's a good idea.
Great, go pitch
Well,
it.
what's the name?
The Buggyman. No, but it combines because it was like, oh, Liam Neeson, he used to be this austere, kind of boring, like period guy.
Sure.
And then he becomes like bare knuckle brawler thriller. And it's like, let's unite the two Neesons.
Oh, Unite the Seven?
We got to unite the seven.
Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Cheryl.
We sticking with Liam or
No.
No.
Great question. Answer.
I
no.
almost said Pride and Prejudice. Sense and Sensibility.
you
So
said Pride and Prejudice
They
to me.
move.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have a budget of only £500 a year,
Uh-huh.
so they got to move to a cottage
Uh-huh.
owned by two busybodies, Cornelius Fudge and the fat lady from the Gryffindor painting. It's true, but that's
I mean,
who she
that's
plays.
what- that's what
it's
she
literally
said.
the name of the character.
I know. Just- It's
There,
a knock on J.K. Rowling.
there's a whole conversation about F,
Mr. F.
Mr. F,
Mr. F.
Mr. F.
Yeah.
Right? They do
Yeah.
that.
Mr.
They
F.
they were like, wow, it's crazy that Charlize was in season
Yeah.
3 of Arrested
Yeah,
Development.
like
They talk about
literally
that.
right after
Yeah.
she won the Oscar.
Crazy.
It's a left field.
We
Yeah.
Britain.
Mr. F.
Mr. F, right? That's what's going on. They move.
Yes, they move. They
And
move on
guess
down.
who lives near here? He's got a floppy hat. He has anywhere between 2 and 8 dogs, depending on the scene.
Yeah.
He's real stoic.
I forgot how many dogs there were.
Sometimes he's just there's just like a menagerie of dogs accompanying him.
Yeah.
And then he'll just go on like a day's walk through like the fens with his dogs and his floppy hat, and he's like got a stick that he's sort of swinging around.
Yep.
He's just thinking about how sad he is.
This is proof of concept for Brokeback Mountain.
For
With the sheep.
Oh
Yeah.
God, yes. I love how this movie looks.
It's a
Right.
great looking film.
It's
Yeah.
like shot by Michael Coulter, who I don't know.
Mike Coulter?
Yes,
Mike-
it's shot by Luke Cage.
Shot by your former castmate, Mike Coulter.
I did a pilot with him that didn't go.
Who at the time, it's not like he's like, he's just sort of a journeyman. I don't know. I'm not seeing, he did shoot Notting Hill later and Love Actually. So I guess he's, but, he likes to shoot Hugh's face.
He likes to shoot Hugh.
But, I just love how
He likes
like,
a view to a Hugh. He likes to have a view to a Hugh.
Sure. Good. How like rich the colors are in this movie. Like the
Yes.
green is just so like green.
Yes,
like,
without being
verdant.
like overcranked.
No, exactly. It's
It
not
doesn't. It's not like oversaturated, like
Right.
pointedly
or
stylized.
like color corrected to
Right.
look like a goddamn painting. Like
Right.
it actually looks
it's
like
just
a
It's
painting.
just a lush movie.
It's a lush fucking movie.
lush fucking movie.
And I feel you know how like rom-coms or whatever will like cut to the dog,
Yeah.
you know,
What?
for like a
Reacting?
right.
Yeah.
Right. Ang Lee's like, let's just cut to some sheep running around for a
Yes.
second. If we need to just chill out for a
Wait,
second,
there's
you know?
a story with the sheep, isn't
Is
there?
there?
Yeah, because when they were shooting this, they shot this in the summer,
Okay.
but they needed it to look like winter or whatever, so they
Sure,
wouldn't
sure.
shear the sheep, and then the sheep got like
Oh.
dehydrated.
I love that Ang getting those sheep on me. I love that Ang Lee would be like, someone's going to object to the sheep being sheared. Someone's going to be like, what a goof.
Yeah. And then he was like, I'm never working with sheep again. And then lo and behold.
He makes a whole sheep movie.
Do you know that the sheep are almost entirely CGI in Brokeback Mountain? I'm not fucking joking.
So he was just like, I hate sheep.
Whoa.
You know those like VFX reels that leak out where the like VFX company showed the before and after?
Yeah.
The one at Brokeback Mountain is literally, no
just like-
exaggeration, the most impressive one I've ever seen because you're like, none of the sheep were real? And you just see Heath Ledger. Now I know why. I was like, why would they spend all that money? Clearly it was like, I've done sheep before, don't make me do it again.
How?
It's
Never.
like Heath Ledger and Jake Gyllenhaal on an empty mountain. And then you just see them layering in sheep after sheep.
That's why he made a Billy Goat Gruff movie later.
That's also why Brokeback Mountain cost $200 million.
Yeah, Brokeback Mountain was actually a huge flop because of all the sheep. Couldn't make the sheep money back.
There is so much CGI in Brokeback, it's insane. And it makes you realize how seamless it is.
Brokeback was a mountain. The mountain
Brokeback
was
was
CGI.
fictional.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, Randy Quaid was CGI.
It had to be at that point.
The Bushwhackers.
No, isn't it the Starfuckers or whatever?
I think he has used both terms. I think they're two different groups.
Terrific.
Both of whom are after him.
Yeah. Randy Quaid is Ben's kind of guy.
No.
Really?
I don't know. He's a conspiracy theorist.
No, I'm not a conspiracy theorist.
Fair
I'm not like a
That's too
weirdo meth head hanging out in a trailer in Canada,
Well,
David.
he wasn't that for a lot of his career. He was successful. And then it caught up with him a little bit.
Right.
He's having a rough patch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the man was in fucking The Last Detail. Give him some credit.
All right, I'll give him a little bit of credit.
Wasn't he on SNL one season?
He was SNL for a season. He played Reagan. He was the only person to get nominated for an Oscar and then join the cast of SNL.
Very weird.
All right, I don't know.
Yeah, no,
sure.
come on.
I'll give
Day.
him a soft pass.
All right,
He's your kind of guy. He plays scum bums. He has his wife put on a Rupert Murdoch mask and then peg him on camera.
This is what
You know,
I'm
fun
saying.
Ben stuff.
He's a
Okay,
little punk
fine.
rock.
You're right.
What do you think of The Cottage, Cheryl?
The Cottage.
Yeah, I don't know.
I like the way that.
I already did my Willoughby
No,
rant. I mean, not my Willoughby rant. My
I like the way that they have.
Oh, yeah.
Brandon rant.
Yeah, Brandon's great. I like how Kate walks into the cottage. Like she's like eager to kind of check it out,
Sure.
and then her face just kind of falls as she walks.
This is an eager performance in a way that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, right.
yeah.
Eager.
Can we talk about Rickman a little? Because we almost got into this before recording, and I wanted to save it for this.
Okay.
I have
I don't know.
heard women over the year describe Alan Rickman as very sexy. And I was always like, that fucking guy? Like, Alan Rickman's one of my favorite character actors.
Right, but he looks like a
a
melting
great
candle.
loss. Right. But he's a weird guy with a weird voice.
And he has
when,
a bit of like a droopy kind of a face.
when he came on screen in this, I was like, oh, I fucking get it.
You
This
were
is the
like,
first time I've seen
hello.
Rickman on
Sky
screen.
Fox?
Sky Fox?
This guy fucks.
Star
This guy
Fox? Oh, this guy fucks.
This
There's
guy
a quiet
hucks.
confidence to this guy, and his hair is fucking... Do you think Hux fucks?
Hux?
General Hux fucks?
Honestly, no.
Yeah.
You know what?
Honestly.
I love the guy, but I think there's a lot of pent up.
Too eager.
yeah.
Too eager.
Ben is staring off into the middle distance with a sense of deep contemplation.
Agreed that this guy fucks.
Okay, wait.
The hair in this is something. It does something, and I also think there's a
I think it's that
stillness to
floppy
him,
hat.
and there is a remove of a certain. Alan Rickman usually has this chip on his shoulder. He's usually got this like, "Oh, God damn it, kind of thing.
Sure,
And in
right.
this, he just seems very sweet. Like
God damn it.
he's odd and he's reserved, but he doesn't seem miffed at all.
I think it's just, obviously Die Hard casts him as the villain.
His
right?
first fucking movie.
And,
Isn't that insane? He's like 40.
he's in things like Robin Hood. Yes, of
right,
course,
but that's
right.
his first movie ever.
But he had also been in Truly Madly Deeply, which
Right.
is a lovely movie that he's
Romantic.
very charming in.
Yeah.
So it's not like it obviously was unheard of for him to do a role like this.
But he does
But
play
I
a lot
do
of
feel
cads
like,
and bads.
Well, no, I'm saying I feel like after this he doesn't really do it again.
This type of reserved.
Yeah, like a more like warm,
No.
heartfelt
No,
character.
he rarely plays warm. He's
No.
not
No,
always
see,
a villain,
that's-
but he's rarely
I mean,
warm.
on like
That's the
stage
thing.
and shit, he
Yeah.
would.
Yeah,
No,
that's
what-
the thing. He's reserved here, but he's still warm.
Yeah,
Whereas I
right,
feel like
yeah.
we mentioned Matthew McFadden before. I felt like
Yeah.
the problem was he was reserved but very cold.
He's
Yes, I
he's
think
real
he's cold.
stiff. I mean,
Yeah.
that character is written like a
right, exactly.
asshole.
But
I mean,
also, anyway.
yeah, no, you're right.
Brandon's-
You're right.
Yeah.
There's
That's his
something-
failing a little bit in Pride and Prejudice.
There's a thing that Rickman communicates immediately in this performance, which is just this guy presumes that no one would want to be with him, so he's not even going to bother.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
And in a really not a needy way, not a self-pitying way, he's like, look, I'm just here. Call me if you need help. I'm not going to be in a position.
But there's also that instant infatuation. You know, the scene when he comes in, he sees her, and then he's just sweet to the family.
Yeah,
he's willing to step aside.
There's something so gentlemanly about the fact that he's not like, oh God, I'm going to get friend zoned again, Mr. Parker. And he's also not like making moves, you know?
Right. And also he's had this trauma in his past that we learn of where he was in love with another woman and she was
taken advantage of.
She
eventually
she cocked him.
Yes, and and so maybe he's
but then
just
she's
like
been looking
forget
after
it.
that daughter Potter style forever.
Daughter Potter.
If you want to cast, well, he's gone now, unfortunately, but Alan Rickman cornered the market on someone who secretly looks after the child of someone who wronged him for 10, 15 years.
This is a little Snapey, too, where he's just like, I might seem mean, but maybe I'm not.
What? But he doesn't seem mean at
So
all.
expecto patronus.
You're right. He doesn't seem mean.
He doesn't.
He does seem like, I just guess, like,
he
a bit of an
seem
Eeyore.
greasy. He doesn't seem mean.
Right? Like, you get why Kate Winslet's like, I don't know, he's kind of old. And like, I'm not really like, I'm more of like, you're kind of Wordsworthy. Yeah, I want to go rolling on the hills.
Right.
Like, so the whole time, meanwhile, Emma Thompson's just kind of sitting there, being polite and nice. She already had her heart broken over Hugh Grant. She's great in this movie.
She has great reaction shots, and she's really good at like when someone says something to her that they don't realize is devastating information.
Right.
The entire
when she just
back
kind of
half.
goes like,
The entire back half of this movie is by the way, you're not allowed to love. You know, essentially.
Right. But she's so good at those tiny little reactions of just like, I'm going to pretend like I already knew that.
Yes. Right. Right. And it's internalized. And cork on the bottle.
Stuff it down. Stuff it down.
2 minutes of absolute heartbreak and gone. All right.
And then she has like emotional diarrhea.
But this whole section, she's just fucking taking it. Like everyone's dishing it out on top of her, putting all their fucking struggles on top of her, acting like she doesn't have anything that's tearing her up inside. And fucking old Hugh Grant's just in the fucking rear view.
Well, right, because the first 20 minutes are her heartbreak, and now we're on Kate Winslet.
Yeah.
And Ben, did you like this? Did you watch the whole movie, Ben?
Producer Ben, did you watch this whole movie? Producer Ben? The Ben Deucer?
Well,
Poet Laureate, the Haas. Mr. Positive,
Well,
Mr. Positive, the tiebreaker, Birthday Benny, Soaking Wet Benny, Finest Film Critic, Close Personal Friend, Dan Lewis, Poet Laureate,
I was gonna
Peeper,
Okay.
Meet Lover, Fart Detective.
Yeah.
Graduate to certain titles over the course of different miniseries, such as Kylo Ben, Producer Ben Kenobi, Ben Night Shyamalan, Ben Say Anything, ... Ailey Benz with a $sign, Warhaz, Ben 19, the Filmmaker, Purdue Bane,
Robo-Haas.
Hazcast News,
Spanglish.
Benglish,
Nice.
Mr. Ben Credible.
Yeah.
Great.
Did I forget anything?
No, I think you got them all.
Did you finish the movie?
No, I did not.
Fair enough. So you didn't get...
I abandoned this movie, I would say, half an hour in.
Ben basically like watching for a bit was like, did that guy die? And then like 10 minutes later, he's like, where's Heathcliff? And then he's like, forget it.
That was my process.
I just also love, I got a text. Ben's text came in the wrong order for me. So first I got a text that just said, what is happening? I'm so confused. What was the exact text?
Something like that, yeah.
Like, what is happening? And then the following text
No idea what's happening.
Right, no idea what's happening. And then the following text was just a picture of Emma Thompson on a screen.
Yeah. It's not like she's doing anything.
No.
Yeah.
But it was like, from that text, it was like, is Ben gonna like take a picture inside the theater of the ending of Annihilation?
Yeah, right.
You know? It's just Emma Thompson repressing, and I have no idea what's going on.
So then there's a huge action scene in the middle of this movie. Kate Winslet goes on a walk with her sister and falls down. Like, she like literally just sort of like trips and falls down like 1 foot away. Mm-hmm. Well, go on, Shirley.
I enjoy this entire scene.
And it's raining, and she's like And it's basically like, okay, well, she's probably going to die, right? Like, because she's just like, ow, my ankle.
I like the lead up to it, though. You know, where her sister's like, no, Marianne.
Yeah,
I don't want to walk.
I don't want to walk anymore.
And so she starts walking faster.
Yeah, right.
And then the last bit is just boop.
It's like someone going like 120 on the road. It's like, slow down. You're going too fast. She's like, no. Except she's just walking briskly on a hill, on a slight incline. And she falls over and Greg Wise shows up. It's all very romantic. That's pretty hot.
Yeah. That's pretty hot.
When he shows up on the horse.
Shows up horseback, and
he's like,
I just demonstrated.
I think Shirley that was mimicked being on a
10
horsey ride.
Yeah.
He gives the horse to Marianne, and he's like, I mean, not to Marianne, to the little one,
Margaret.
Mm-hmm. And it's like, don't worry, he's quite safe.
Don't worry.
And then he's like, may I inspect your ankle? Can I have permission?
It's a lot.
And she's like, yes. And he's like, it's not broken. And right, everyone's just like, woo, woo, right? This is hot stuff.
Hot guy.
Yeah, he's a hot guy.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
He's got sideburns that kind of point at his nose.
Right.
Sideburns. He's got kind eyes.
So Emma Thompson's like,
he's got sideburns and kind eyes.
Which is handsome.
Yeah.
And Emma Thompson, by the way, she's like
handsome.
Right.
Give me this.
That's gonna be. Let me bark up this.
Yeah, look at this English cheddar.
Put that on the cracker.
P.S. I'm the cracker.
Why did that feel so much creepier when it got caught in your throat? If you had said it clearly, it would have just been a joke.
Oh boy. Anyway, so Willoughby.
Yes.
Yes.
Kate's just into this dude,
and he's into her.
And
he's definitely seems into her. They talk sonnets.
Yeah.
They talk
Takes
sonnets.
his sonnet book out.
He recites it.
Yeah.
Back to her.
And she corrects him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
5 sonnet.
But that just
5 sonnets.
she likes that.
No, she's into it. Some
Yeah.
bants. Some heavy bants right now. This is
Some sonnet cucking.
And and then finally he's like I don't know, she's walking him to his horse or whatever, and he's like, could I meet with you tomorrow? And she's like, well, we're alone together all the time. And he's like, oh, I have something very important I want to ask you.
Yeah. I mean, you're also, this is also, I just want to go back to, right? When they're becoming friends.
Sure.
And then it's like late 1700s PDA.
Right.
That entire sequence.
Right. Where there's just a familiarity.
Right. And that's why when he's like, let's just meet in person.
You're like,
I also love that he's like,
is it?
Can I meet with you tomorrow? And she's like, I don't know. Let me check my calendar. I have a busy waiting around until someone marries me for the rest of my life.
I'll be sitting in the front room from sunrise.
Those are my front rooms hour.
Noon-ish.
And then after that, I go to sleep.
No, then I'll go to the back room for a while. I'll maybe read a tiny, tiny little book by candlelight. Then the sun will set and it's time to go to bed.
Right.
Aang might cut to some sheep running around.
Right. It's not like, I don't know, I just picked up a couple more shifts at the local pub.
My sister will probably be looking at her fucking atlas all day.
I'm going to want to go outside.
Thompson will be quietly crying in her room. I don't know what that's about.
She seems fine. I shouldn't ask about that.
Can't read her at all.
She's a trooper. She takes it well.
Mom's just off screen.
My mom will be puffing her eyes.
Puffing.
She has a puffer. There's a man who shows up and just blows air.
That's the one staff they could
Yeah.
retain.
She replaced her powder.
With her puffer.
But when he's going to propose, everyone thinks he's going to propose. And then Rickman shows up and he's like, Willoughby. And they're like, yeah, he's cool, right? And he's like, no comment. Goodbye.
Why not who won't to be? Sorry.
Wow. Shirley should be a permanent pun caster.
Won't to be.
Okay, yes, he shows up.
Easy mouse.
Yeah, Ben is just...
Ben's tweeting through it. I mean, seriously, we're almost done. I mean, this is the thing about this movie. It's like, it's a lot of little things.
Wait, Ben just posted a Tumblr manifesto, why I'm giving up on podcasting forever.
He's moving to Devonshire, folks. No, Willoughby ghosts.
Yes.
Ghosts on her.
Just go.
He's got to go to London.
I gotta
he's
go.
Why does
gotta go to
I
town.
wish I didn't gotta go. I gotta go.
Also, in between these is also that scene where Alan Rickman's like, let's have a picnic. Everyone's invited.
Oh, yeah, we skipped that. No, and this is the most dramatic scene.
And everyone's like there for the picnic.
Yes.
He's like, everyone's here for the picnic. And then someone like fucking horses up to him and is like, a note. And he's like, I have to go to London right away. Goodbye. And that's never explained. It's to do with his ward, right? Right?
After. Yeah.
Is it? I mean,
It has to do with Beth, renamed from Eliza in the book.
But I love that, like, Willoughby's really like, okay, this is my Oscar scene. I gotta sell this, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, I gotta go to London. And they're like, okay.
I'm sorry, babe.
But like one last week of Doom Love, and he's like, actually gotta go like right now.
The hour is at hand.
Well, darkest hour.
My sideburns are pointing to London. You're like,
So he pieces the fuck
he
out.
pieces the F out. So Kate Winslet's sad
Mr.
for a
F.
while.
Mr. F.
Yeah, Mr.
He
F's
pisses
out.
Mr. F out.
But then, Mrs. The lady who likes to say F so much is like, let's go to London.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's go to town.
I
We
have
gotta
a
go to town.
fucking mansion in Chelsea. We could
Yeah.
just
Just go
chill
hang out.
in.
Yeah, hit a couple balls.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's kind of what you
Right.
do.
So they go,
My favorite part is when they're in London and like they hear someone knocking at a door and they're like, who's that? And they're like, it's next door. And they're like, next door? It's a foreign concept. Wait a second. You're telling me people live next to each other?
Adjacent? Others?
Oh boy. That's just a good little detail.
Yeah. I feel like this, if you were someone struggling with depression in this era, you were just fucked. Because it was like, hey, no incentive to ever leave your house.
Well, that's the thing. Is like, can I go outside? And they're like,
Yeah.
go outside. Why?
And they're like, should I try to get more proactive, like cheer myself up? And they're like, no, in this culture, you wait for someone to save you.
Yeah.
Hobbies?
Yeah,
I'm going to
don't
go
do
on
anything.
a walk. And they're like, you're going to go on a walk?
By yourself?
Are you okay?
Pretty unbecoming.
Well, I want to go
Looking
outside.
desperate.
Well,
How about the pianoforte instead?
I went to the market last week and I bought 100 eggs.
Yeah,
I don't think we need
Yeah,
more.
and there's still rumors flying fast about that one.
Yeah.
That's why picnics matter so much.
That's the
Oh,
thing.
man.
Where he's like,
Balls.
let's have a picnic.
Yeah.
And it's like, no woman can be like, can we have a picnic maybe?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
it has to be Rickman's like, or
Yeah.
picnic.
You gotta wait for somebody to have a picnic.
Yeah.
Right.
Although when he throws, it's more of a Ricknick.
Oh my God. This is the best we've ever done. This is the one we'll be remembered for.
Alan Ricknick.
Oh my God.
Ben has opened up a book that he will leave behind after his death with plans of how to murder the two of us. He's writing the book of Benry. Shirley, why there is no other option but murdering Griffin and David.
Yeah, Shirley has to do it. Shirley,
I'll
who
do
will
it.
your accomplice
Can
be?
I pick a knife from your new knife collection?
Yes, exactly.
Was that on the air?
Oh crap!
I cut my own hand open on a new knife.
We talked about knives for 20 minutes.
I forgot about that part. And I was like, guys, I just want to tell you this story.
Just got a quick
So
knife
I got
story.
some new knives.
A knife story.
Do you want to hear the worst thing?
I don't know.
I asked Ben if he could record an audition with me after this.
Ben is just nodding.
I have a voiceover
His eyes are cold and dead. For what?
I can't say.
All right. Tell me
It's
after.
July. Can you say?
Yeah, it's the James Mangold anniversary.
All right. Perfect.
Great. That'll be funny 12 years from now.
Exactly. All right. So they go to this ball. Crucial scene. Why is it crucial? Willoughby's
Because
there.
it's a ball. Yeah.
One also, it's also every Jane Austen movie is
Has a ball.
mandated to have one of those dances where
Oh,
everyone's
ball.
like, doing like
Hand
weird line
dance.
dancing,
Right,
like
right.
where it's like, and then also, and you meet Imogen Stubbs,
Yes. You meet
and-
Steele. Lucy Steele. Steele. Real
right?
Steele.
And you meet Hugh Grant's brother,
Yes.
Right, because Imogen,
where they're like, is that Hugh Grant? And then he turns around, and he's
And
like,
they're like, no.
"Hey."
Hello,
You're like,
I'm Robert. I'm Robbie.
real butterface. And so he's there,
Right.
But you also see Willoughby, and he's with some
And she's
frosty
like,
ass
Willoughby,
lady.
You get, yeah.
this is so funny.
I've
Remember,
been
we
sending
were
you
Yeah.
50 notes.
about to be engaged, and
Yeah.
he's like,
It's her
"Remind
like,
me again."
He's like,
it's her like almost famous scene, and you're
Yes.
just like,
yeah, it's
Exactly.
pretty brutal.
bad for her.
And he goes over to the lady, and she like gives her a little look over her shoulder.
Yeah.
And then Ang Lee's like,
Too much.
Kate, total devastation and action.
Kate, not sad enough. Not sad enough.
Kate, your life is over forever?
Right.
Great. Roll it.
There's that scene of her crying like into the bed.
That's right. That's
right.
I think it's actually even before. I think that's like after he.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, that's after.
Right.
That's
right. When Emma Thompson's like trying to console her, and it's just like futile.
And she's like, "Oh man, I have."
And
my
there's
own
still
show."
like that's some hope. Like, oh well, when we go to London, like,
Yeah.
he's in London.
in town.
But I
I'll be in
love
London.
that she doesn't play it, and you know, he doesn't direct it like it's this grand like travesty,
Right.
like crying to the skies. It's like embarrassing your friend drunk at a bar,
Right.
Like can't stop crying. Like she's like, it's not like a big Oscar cry scene. It's like
She's
this
a
is uncomfortable
teenager.
to watch. This
Well,
is
it's-
a teenager who cannot keep it
I
together.
don't think she wants that. Where it's like, remember, these are like, this is a
Yeah.
teenager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. But then she has that total devastation face, which is like probably that's her like, okay, officially anointed full on star moment. Right.
She rules.
Right. And then there's, of course, she decides that she's going to, in the ring, go to the Willoughby estate.
Yes.
To make things
That
right.
is because they retreat to that mansion.
Right.
And they mention that his estate is nearby. And you sort of see her gears turning, and she's like,
Right.
well,
I'm off.
I'll go.
Walks in the rain.
I just like that
Catches a fucking cold.
back in those days, rain was enough of a dramatic conflict.
I mean,
It's
wet.
like they have something to do, but it's raining outside. They
And
may face death.
FYI, you missed a big wet
It
scene.
gets so wet, Ben.
She gets rained on.
Brent, she almost gets rained to death.
She's so. She literally does.
Literally, almost
Yeah.
gets rained to death.
She's like William Henry Harrison.
Then exactly.
Damn.
Well, I did pay $3 to watch 30 minutes of this movie, so I
Put
suppose
$1 per 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You're fine.
Yeah, well, I'll go back because I got the 48-hour rental.
SD or HD?
Always SD.
Yeah,
What I
he
look
just
like.
goes SD.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm an HD boy.
And what app
You
did
see
you
the
use?
rain
What
better.
platform?
Oh, Amazon, a company's never done anything wrong.
Oh, certainly never done anything wrong.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely not.
She
right,
gets
I'll
all.
watch
She
it.
catches
You
a
got at least
severe cold,
Yes.
and they deal with it appropriately.
Ooh, a wet
they
cold.
cut.
Hugh
They cut her-
Laurie.
Well, Hugh Laurie's there, who, by the
Talk
way,
about Hugh Laurie at all.
well, you know,
Skip.
it's not like he has a big role. It's just like he just drops by and is like,
He's like a member of the fashion police.
Yeah.
Like he's just kind of sitting in the salon.
he's married to Imelda Staunton,
Yeah,
who
he
sucks.
hates Amanda Staunton.
And he just doesn't like that.
Right.
And she almost is like, literally like, you're stuck with me.
Right.
Right.
Right, she's the Kathy Griffin to his Anderson Cooper.
Exactly. And so
Yeah.
he's just like.
She's the Anna Faris of this Ang Lee film.
But yes, that's.
Yeah.
Good point.
Connections.
He,
Were we on-
he
yeah,
cuts
yeah.
her fucking wrist open to cure her of a cold. I just like that part.
Right.
It's just like where you're just like, right.
Blood?
It's still the turn of the 19th
Yeah.
century. Where he's like, she's got a cold. That blood's got to go.
Must be the dirty blood.
Someone get me a
Tainted.
porcelain bowl.
And some liquid soap. We got to replace this blood with something cleaner.
Oh boy. But she makes it.
She makes it.
She's hardy.
Yeah, but in between, this is Rickman's other great scene.
He's stepping up.
He's like, I want to help.
He's like, oh, also Willoughby's a real.
A bit of
He's like, I dare say he's a blackguard. And you're like, whoa, Colonel! Shots fired!
Tone him down.
I just love that. Where he's like, the worst blackguard.
That meme where they put
Go
Obama's
off.
face over the dude who just destroyed the rap battle.
Yeah, Willoughby turns out to be, he's like a real shithead.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
literally
he's a
number one
dick.
worst.
Because he left her. I mean, he's knocking up ladies, right?
Right.
But
Left
he
and
just
right.
thinks. But the thing, and he's going to go for Winslet. He's going to
Yeah.
go for.
Yeah.
But then he
Yeah.
leaves her because his mom is like,
I
You-
found out what you
I'm
did.
disinheriting you. So now he has to marry.
You have
rich.
no money.
You gotta get some coin now,
Yeah.
baby.
Yep. Sucks.
And then he just snags a lady.
He does. I
in
mean, he's hot.
London.
He's
yes.
hot. He's like
In
a
London,
sunburn,
town.
yeah.
London.
And that's what that letter was, right? That's like his
Yeah.
mom being like, "Get the fuck home.
Yeah.
You ain't got no money."
This is a time period where like reputations couldn't catch up with you if you went to a different town because like gossip traveled by horse.
They might catch up to you, but it'll like a solid year. Like,
Yeah.
like, you know,
So you got a little wiggle room, you know?
Yeah, you got some wiggle room.
yeah.
Go find a girl
100%.
with
Yeah.
prospects.
Right.
And this is when, like in so many an Austen novel, and then later like a Dickens novel or whatever, it's just sort of like, whew, that was a lot of drama. Anyway,
Yeah.
Kate Winslet wakes up and decides that Alan Rickman's really nice.
Yeah.
And then Hugh Grant comes back and he's like, because also Imogen Stubbs is revealed to be like
secretly
secret
engaged.
fiance.
Right.
He comes back and he's like, I wasn't into her. Like it was, we were kids.
Yeah.
Kids, I was
I
wrong.
like you.
Yeah.
I'll be a vicar.
Yeah.
And Emma Thompson's like, perfect. Let me get a dick.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't decide to be a vicar right away.
No,
This is
he
another
becomes
good
a
Rickman.
vicar.
I'm trying to give Rickman points
You're right,
to
'cause
prove why.
Brandon's
right.
like,
Yeah.
vicar?
He's like, parish?
Vicar of Dublin.
But it turns out that she is in love with the brother anyway.
Well,
Right.
she's a bit of a dick.
Yeah.
She's kind
Lucy
of a,
Steele's the worst.
Yeah, I don't like her.
she's a pain in the ass. And that actress, I feel like she never popped.
No.
She's she's no Imogen Poots.
Very
In the
true.
grand, she's no Imogen Heap either.
Mm-hmm. Imogen.
Dude, I was going to try and do an impression of that song, but I realized it was just going to be too hard.
Oh.
She is married to Trevor Nunn.
Okay.
Oh, you don't know who that? He's
No.
like a very famous theater director. So she sort of stayed.
So
in
what?
the
He's doing
theater
like Broadway
world.
plays and stuff.
More British. I mean, he has.
Well,
but
but
more
how would
British.
you know that?
How British?
How would you know
What are you talking about?
if he's directing theater, but it's not here in New York City? How would you even?
Because I grew up in Britain, and also, you know what I saw? One of his productions that I saw. One of his productions that I saw.
What?
Oklahoma, in which he cast a young Hugh Jackman.
Oh, it must have been fun to see
Exclamation
Oklahoma in America and the States, the country
Yeah.
where it's.
Yes, I
Where
saw it.
Oklahoma is. Yeah.
Good point.
Right, that's where you saw it. You saw it on Broadway. I saw it there
Yeah.
too.
I saw
Patrick
it,
Wilson played the lead.
Not with Patrick Wilson. I saw it on the West End of London. London.
But why were
How?
you? You took a trip
sound
just
like
to.
you're from London.
You took a trip just to see the play.
Yeah, it was like this Jackman guy's gonna be good. He's gonna get Wolverine 2 years from now. I got a feeling. My nose knows news.
Could you imagine if, like, tomorrow they were like, we found our new Green Lantern. It's the guy who played Curly in Oklahoma 2 years ago on the West End.
On the West End,
Yeah.
who Equity wouldn't even let come to Broadway, so
Yeah.
Patrick Wilson had to do
yeah,
it.
right.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's the thing where they were like, yeah, you can transfer Oklahoma. Hugh Jackman, I have never heard of that
Yeah,
guy.
right.
Get Patrick Wilson.
Yeah.
That was how not famous he was.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he became the Wolverine.
Wolverine.
Sknit.
Yes.
Wolverine.
Clawman.
So we did it. We did
No
the
middle
movie.
initial?
Wolverine X Clawman.
I mean, it's appropriate.
Yes.
Yes, we did. We
We did it. I mean, is there stuff we're missing? I mean, yeah, Imogen Stubbs is kind of a pain, but
Yeah.
we mentioned Hugh Laurie.
I mean, it's a long movie.
She's
Not
kind of
the song.
basic more than anything else.
She's a little basic. That's the thing.
She's just like wide-eyed and annoying.
She's like
Right.
kind of shitty Emma Thompson.
Yeah.
Right, but
It's like
Willoughby's
Emma
like
Thompson.
aggressively bad.
He's quite bad.
Like, he knows what he's
Wait.
doing.
We should talk about that final shot.
Talk
Right?
about it.
You have the wedding.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then you turn over and you see Willoughby on his horse watching the
Mhm.
procession. Which I think is I guess that's not the final shot. There's the money tossing.
No,
but
but
it's
it's like kind of that end of Legally Blonde where you find out that her like
Yeah.
ex-boyfriend didn't even like get a job.
Right.
Where they're
There's a final
go on.
knife
No,
turn.
go on, Shirley.
Yeah.
There's
No,
more
I just wanted to
artistry
I
it.
kind of
You
liked
like
what
that.
Aang did there.
Mhm.
Just to tie it all together. And it's also very faithful to the book.
Yes, I'll
Right.
tell you what I
in
like
which,
about
like,
it.
cheaters never prosper.
Yeah.
essentially.
And then she also goes into like, oh, what happened to Willoughby?
Right.
I like that in that shot you get the sense that it actually has taken a toll on him.
yeah.
That he is showing some sort of sense of awareness
Sense?
and guilt, a sense
And
and a
some-
sensibility.
Also a little some longing.
Right, but otherwise it would have just been like Willoughby rides off and will continue doing this forever.
Right.
Right, because
And it's
exactly.
like, no, Willoughby knows he's kind of fucked. He let her get away.
Yeah.
Everyone knows he's a piece of shit.
Well, there's also that like crucial transference where it's like Emma's, learning to be. I'm just using the actor's name. I'm sorry. Eleanor is learning to be like, a little more like go with your gut here.
Mhm.
Like this is your guy.
Yeah.
Even if there's some impropriety or like
Mhm.
his sister's a bit of a bitch. Bit of a
He
C
didn't.
next to.
He didn't.
And Marianne is like, you know what? I know Willoughby was dashing, but like dashing ain't
Yeah.
gonna bring home eggs
Yeah.
and bacon.
Dashing
Dashing
don't
ain't
pay the
gonna
bills.
throw a picnic. I need a man with 2 to 8 dogs
Yeah.
and a hat. Floppy. A hat, floppy. Okay,
and a ward.
So the Sense and Sensibility. There's some, right? Like they've learned lessons from each other as sisters.
Into the middle. They're
And then
now
also-
the ampersand.
Right, and then They both become an ampersand. Their little sister, I don't know what's up with her.
Margaret's fine. She
They'll
has
be
a
fine,
treehouse.
right? They get to live with. They get to live with the colonel now.
I mean, this is probably one of those continuation books that's out there. You can read what happened to Margaret.
Right. I'm sure there are. But, that's the thing about, like, English gentry where it's like, Alan Rickman's got a big house.
Yeah.
But it would just
And a
not be
big
proper for him
heart.
to be like, oh, geez, this cottage is kind of small. Just come stay with me. I have, like, 8 bedrooms.
Right.
Like, just chill out here.
Not proper.
Not cool.
Not cool.
And instead it has to be like, can I fucking inspect your fucking ankle?
That's like when you read about like famos who have crazy big houses,
Right.
you're like, what do you do with all those rooms?
But then you hear about like basketball players where they're like, well, yeah, like my whole extended family
Right.
lives here. Like,
Right.
and like there are wings. I don't even
That's the
see
weird-
half
That's
of them.
the thing. Like all these people have like aunts or like have you guys been following Will Smith on Instagram?
yes.
He's got like 15 people who just live with him, and he's like, "This is Terrence." And they're like, "Who's Terrence? What does he do?"
Isn't it like Terrence is like his chef or whatever? Like, they have
Sometimes-
like a staff.
Terrence Malick
but-
is
yeah.
his chef.
It's literally Terrence Malick. No, some of
And
those
he
people
tosses
are
out
like
the appetizer.
Yeah, some of those people are like live-in staff, and some of those people are like, he's like my producing partner or whatever.
Right.
But some of them is just like, this is Greg.
He's just
We've
my
been
bud.
friends for 2 years.
Right. There's that. Have you ever listened to
Just good old Greg.
the Kenya Barris episode of You Made It Weird from a zillion years ago? Because Kenya and Pete Holmes worked on I Hate My Teenage Daughter.
Right.
Like, and now Kenya Barris is a fucking TV
Yeah.
mogul, and Pete Holmes as Crashing.
Yeah. Titans of industry.
Right. But
Both.
Kenya Barris talks about back then, like taking a meeting at Will Smith's house and like walking in, and Will Smith is like running on a treadmill with like some like Terminator apparatus on his face,
Yeah.
where he's just like he walked into the future, where they're like keeping him alive and a waiter comes up, or a chef, and is like, "What would you like to eat?" And Kenya Barris is like, I don't know, like some eggs, I guess. And he's like, "What kind of eggs?" And he's like, "Fried." And he's like, "No, from which bird?" And he was like, "You got like ostrich eggs? Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Like from a chicken?"
Sky's
He had
the
to
limit.
specify bird.
Yeah.
I just think about that
That's
all the time.
insane.
That's how rich you are, where you're like, get some duck eggs. keep them in the fridge.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's play the box office.
Let's play the
game.
box office game.
This movie opened December 15th, 1995.
Height of Oscar season. It's
Yes?
Oscar
Yeah.
You'd say that.
play.
No.
But you look at this box office, does not seem like the height of Oscar season. That's how
Interesting. Okay.
I mean, like down below the top 5, there's like,
some things platforming.
I mean, Braveheart's platform. No, Braveheart's been out for a
Pretty
long
much
time.
done, Yeah.
Like Othello came out this week, the brand
Oh.
Othello.
yeah? Yeah.
He didn't direct it, but
Right.
but like apart from that,
Kenny B.
saxophone. All right, so number one,
Downtown Kenny Bay.
at the box office is a children's movie that was a success, but nothing like the success of its sequel.
The year is 1995,
Mhm.
and you are not being facetious.
No,
It is Toy Story?
no, that's number 2,
Oh,
which has been out for a month and
Yeah.
has grossed $100 million.
It's the
That
highest
movie is
grossing
huge.
film of that year.
I think.
What is it?
Oh, am I allowed to say? Or
Yeah,
is
of
it
course.
just?
Yes, yeah.
Is it Jumanji?
Jumanji.
Hey!
You know what? I was not going to guess that because of sequel. That was going to throw me off.
That didn't throw me.
The thing about Jumanji is, everyone was like, it made $100 million. It was a hit.
Solid.
It opened to 11, so
Right.
good multiplier.
But then Welcome to the Jungle got elected president of the United States.
And also, like, I remember reading these interviews where Jake Kasdan was like,
that case,
we
you're like-
really want to honor the original. And I'm like, you do?
Dude, what are you talking
Who
about?
cares
Who
about
fucking cares?
Jumanji? And then
Apparently,
they made a-
everyone.
Everyone was like,
Apparently.
wait, they finally made a Jumanji sequel? I'm going. Like 8 times.
Welcome.
I don't get things.
Remember when we saw Jumanji and it was like a packed house?
Yeah.
It was like the fucking Sex Pistols playing. And we were like, this is the beginning of a moment.
And we're like, that's a gentleman's B-.
Yeah, we were like, I guess let's see Jumanji. Like, I guess it's out.
We've seen everything else. Yeah.
Jumanji.
They
I
did
saw
pass
you were-
that bill, though, where every citizen had to see Jumanji twice.
Welcome
yeah.
to the jungle.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of Jumanji?
The
I liked
original?
it. I saw it in
The
theaters.
original?
Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see it in theaters?
I liked it a lot. I mean, I was a
You're
small
younger
child.
than I, yeah. How old would you have been in 1995?
4.
Wow, you are younger than me. Jesus.
I was
did
very
you see it in
scared of it
theaters?
when it came out. I didn't see it in theaters.
It's scary.
I was too scared.
you know what's
We
the-
also had to see it in school. later.
had
we had to. When there was
your
nothing
board
to
game
do.
class?
It was right.
Wait, why did you have to see it in school?
No, it was just like when there was nothing to do.
Oh, like
It
a
was
rainy
put
day
on
movie.
Jumanji and
Okay.
people could
They
agree.
didn't take you to the theaters.
they
The
took
part-
us into the assembly room.
We ran out of
We watched
history.
Jumanji.
Let's all go to the multiplex.
The
to see
part that's
Jumanji.
scariest is the beginning where you get sucked into
Yes.
the game. It's like
That's
genuinely a
what
little nightmarish.
freaked me out.
Yeah.
I didn't want to see it because of that. I think I've told this story. I was terrified to go see Austin Powers because the idea of him being frozen really freaked me
Yeah,
out.
that's hilarious.
Shit like that where people get trapped in things really freaked me out as a kid. And I didn't want to see little boy Robin Williams get sucked into a game.
It really sucked.
Well, Toy Story's number 2.
Yeah,
Now,
the greatest film of all time.
I saw the film in theaters and I had a great time with it. Shirley,
Toy
you
Story?
were quite
I
young,
didn't
but
see it
I
in
mean,
theater.
it was a cartoon. But no.
Yes, it
What's
was.
like the first movie Shirley saw then?
You remember your first movie?
In theaters.
Yeah.
Might be
Please.
Mighty Ducks.
One?
Sure.
Cool.
Fine.
Cool.
Great movie.
Cool.
I don't remember a thing about
Yeah,
it.
they keep doing that.
Yeah, someone's turning our lights on. Killing our buzz.
Killing the buzz.
True.
I was going to say, Toy Story,
Did you see Toy Story in theaters?
Fuck yes.
You were little-ish.
I was
like six? Yeah.
I was rolling hardcore into the theaters. We already established my first movie was Jumanji, re-released in 91. I was like rolling
Jumanji?
into
You
the
just said
Cineplex.
Jumanji.
I'm sorry, Jungle Book.
Sure, okay.
Everything has now been roped
Jumanji.
into the Jumanji extended universe.
Okay, yeah, okay. So you saw Toy Story.
I was seeing movies. I was seeing everything at this age and everything that was JRPG. And I remember seeing the trailer for Toy Story and turning to my mom going, that's my movie.
Sure.
Like, that's mine.
Toys.
That's mine. That's my movie.
Right.
Right. And so I was so amped to go see it. And we took my friend Molly, who has been invoked on this podcast before.
Sure.
And we were in the theater and I was like, we got to get here early. Like, I'm so excited for this. Like, this was my, like, Star Wars, right?
Right.
And right before the movie started, Molly had to go to the bathroom. And because we were all like 6, we all had to go out so my mom could take her to the bathroom. And I missed the beginning of the movie. And then I was like so obsessed with it. Finally talked my dad and Jamesy into going to see it with me again.
James must have been even smaller, right?
Right. James was 3.
Sure.
Yeah. And he had to go to the bathroom, the same thing.
No.
I didn't see the opening of Toy Story until it came out on VHS, which was like a year later.
Wow.
Crushing.
It came out like October 2006. 1996. It came out a year later on VHS. I didn't know the whole opening sequence with Woody playing
Which
with
is
the toys.
a good opening sequence.
Now I know it by heart.
Uh-huh. Number three, take
Number
control.
3.
Number.
Is a new opening this week as well.
Mhm.
So Jumanji was one, and this is another.
Okay.
One of my favorite movies of the year.
And Toy Story rises back up to number 1 again after this, I
I
think,
don't
right?
fucking know.
I think it does. I had a Miracle Run, number 1 film, 1985. But I keep on saying 2005. I'm sorry.
This is one of my favorite movies. Yeah,
Yeah.
are you having like a brain event?
I'm having a brain event.
It's a crime thriller
One of your favorite movies?
certainly of this year
It's a crime.
by one of my favorite directors.
Is it Heat?
Ah,
Get that in here.
It
Man.
is. Have you seen Heat?
Yeah. Yes,
Of
all
course,
man.
Fucking rules.
So good.
I feel like Kilmer in the 90s too is also your vibe. Like kind of wild man Kilmer. You know what
Michael
I mean? Like
Jumanji.
Tombstone.
We're having fun
Heat.
here, Shirley.
Okay, yeah.
I don't wanna
I like
hear
that.
about them.
No, I like that.
I just love that Kilmer pops up in those movies and he's like, I'm crazy, by the way.
It's
You
just
know,
that Kilmer looks so bad now.
it's amazing. I'm-
Like,
I know.
so bad
He
that
kind
I
of looks bad in Heat. I mean,
Yeah.
he's got that crazy, like, fucking Van Halen hair.
Kilmer's
Yeah.
also got that weird elbow, which is very visible in Heat. Do you know about that?
Interesting, yeah.
He's got like a very pointy elbow. Google Val Kilmer elbow. You'll see what I'm talking about. I'm not fucking extrapolating here.
Yeah, he does have a weird
He's
elbow.
got
There's
a weird
I wanna
elbow.
see, I
a
wanna
lot
see, I wanna
of
see.
pictures that are just like a circle around his pointy elbow.
His elbow looks like a dagger.
Weird. He's got like some weird elbow.
He's got like a doomsday elbow where it's
It,
like
like, pokes
spikes
out.
are growing out of his body. I was gonna say The Saint.
Weird.
The Saint
Wait, can I
feels
see?
like a Ben movie.
That's 96.
I would like to see.
Oh, you.
The Saint.
The Saint.
Show Shirley, please.
I've never
You
seen
should
it.
look it up. That's
Please.
a Ben movie.
Okay.
Give me.
Can Shirley see?
I'd like to see.
Here we go.
No,
Are you
it's
ready for this?
I'm sorry, David. Shirley Lee. It's actually pronounced Shirley Lee.
Oh God!
Right? It's weird. It is weird.
It's weird.
That's disgusting.
Number 4. So that opens to 8.4 million, which,
Okay.
is the beginning of a not very big. It did okay.
Yeah, did okay.
But in classic Michael Mann fashion, it was incredibly long and really expensive.
Growing our shower.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Number,
And to be fair, he was 6 cuts away from landing on the definitive cut of that movie.
Yeah. Number 4
Yeah.
is a sequel to a comedy hit that was a remake.
Father Bride Part 2.
Oh. I was
which
still processing.
is the Father of the Bride movie that I think we've talked about this, that I've seen like a lot.
Same here. They played that one on TV a lot more than one.
I've seen the first one like twice, and I've seen Father of the Bride Part 2 like 12 times.
Yeah, I think I've seen the first one once and the second one like 20 times.
It's the one where Martin Short comes back and they're like, we don't need you to plan a wedding, but can you plan our births? And he's like, yeah.
Yes. And he's in a lot more
He's
of
in
it.
a lot of it.
He's like above the title, I think.
And also like Steve Martin like fucks Diane Keaton in the kitchen and knocks her up. And she's like in her 40s, like her late 40s.
2 pregnancies.
Yeah. That's
and
the
there's
thing.
the shot of him with the babe.
Yeah, with
That's
the
what I
babes.
remember.
And
they also show full penetration, which is bizarre.
That's what I'm saying.
For that movie. Yeah. It's
No.
like Antichrist.
Number 5, Chaos Reigns.
Yeah.
Number 5 is another remake, a very ill-advised remake that was a bomb. It's also opening this week.
Sabrina?
Harrison Ford, Sidney Pollack.
Never
directed
remake
it.
Hepburn.
Yeah. Who's the lady in it?
It's Julia Ormond.
Right.
That's the whole thing. New
Yeah.
York Times wrote the whole piece of like, here's the next great star.
Sure.
Have you read that piece?
And then Kinnear's in it.
That is one of the greatest pieces of entertainment journalism in history.
All right.
Because they had anointed her. It was what? Legends of the Fall was the one she was in?
I don't fucking know.
And they had all these quotes from all these people, like Steven Spielberg, where he was like, this is like a once-a-decade event. When someone shows up on screen, you realize you're witnessing.
She's in First Night. I remember that.
Right.
She's a Guinevere.
But I think Legends of the Fall was the one where she popped, and then they said she's going to play Sabrina, and everyone decided she was the thing, and
then
she never recovered from that
Well,
movie.
they decided she was going to play Smeela and have a sense of snow. She does.
Jesus Christ.
She was early Gretchen Mol, basically.
She was. She really was.
But the piece is fascinating because it's like talking about the entire machinery around her and her just sort of like being
How to
like,
make
I
a
like
star.
acting. And the reporter's kind of going like, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to tell if people are going to connect or not. Yeah. Good piece. Look it up.
Other movies in the top 10. You got Goldeneye.
Mhm.
You got American President. Lovely movie.
Yeah. I'm the president. I still can't get Michael Douglas. One of these
Casino.
days. Yeah.
Which maybe we'll do on this podcast one day far in the future.
Maybe.
Ace Ventura When Nature Calls, which we're definitely going to do on this podcast.
No question.
And Money Train, which is about
Woody
what
and
if a train
Wesley.
had money
Woody
on
and
it?
Wesley.
Woody and Wesley.
Back again.
Subway.
Yeah.
Good Subway movie.
Yeah.
I used to see the Money Train.
What a crap.
Ben has written down.
Ben wrote down, keep going? That's weird.
Okay, wait. And Ben just passed me a note. It says, what if Hangover but Teenagers the Buzzed?
No, we're done. We're done. We are.
Wow.
Next is fucking the Ice Storm.
I can't wait.
And
You
Lee
got a
was
guess
like,
for the ice storm?
What, you want to come back?
I need to see the ice storm. I wasn't very complete as with Ang Lee.
Classic Shirley,
Yeah.
where she's like, oh, you got a guess for the Ice Storm? I'm like, oh, I don't know. She's like, because I haven't seen it.
Ask first, watch later.
Hey Dave, I'll be back in town soon.
Yeah, and I can't hang out with you, apparently.
Shirley, thank you so much for being a guest on the show.
Before you go to
you.
WeHo.
I'm saying this episode, you're breaking big.
Dude,
I'm
this
calling
episode
it
was.
now.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know
Turning the
Ben's-
tables.
I know Ben's throwing a little tantrum, but this episode was fucking
This is
gold.
kind of all timer.
This episode was Shirley Bassey.
Timer.
This episode was Spandau Ballet gold.
This episode got into a schmelting accent. Ben,
This episode was a second generation Pokemon game.
are you going to be this angry when you win the Oscar for this episode?
You're damn right. Yes.
Because you're the producer. If this episode wins Best Picture, you get that trophy.
Sure, it's all
You
Ben.
represent the entire country.
Right.
And I will be furious.
You'll get on board and you'll say, no one liked
I'll
it."
say, this? What? For this?
I do not accept this.
Ben, can you
I don't
believe
want this.
We do this podcast. And
Can I believe
Can
it?
you believe it?
Can you believe that? I go to an office and people are like, so how was that? And what do I say? Great. It was really good.
Can you believe that you brought us to this company? You were like, well, the first thing I need to bring is this.
Can you believe that people want to advertise on this show?
Absolutely the American dream.
I'll
Cut all that out.
You're oh man, you're this podcast's Ang Lee.
Yeah.
Fulfilling the American dream.
Make
So
me
who
sit
am
on
I?
a pillow.
You are you're the ampersand between sense and sensibility.
Love it.
Here's a big question. Do we play
No, you're the
Shirley
I'm the sheep. That's
for
true.
this episode at the Oscars, do we play Shirley as lead or supporting?
I think Shirley might be lead.
Because she is the female lead of this episode.
It's a lot of pressure.
But it's a lot of pressure. Yeah.
I also want to know my competition, sometimes it's just better.
That's true, because you need to
Put me
know,
down.
right, is Viola going to go lead or supporting?
Right.
Yeah.
That's true.
Oh, man, if
so
she's
you can
getting
play
all
it by ear.
snotty, I don't want to.
Yeah.
You can play it by ear. Ben just gave me the look of pure hatred.
People can follow Shirley.
Shirley Lee on Twitter. What's your Twitter handle? Is it still that funny kind of weird handle
It
you have?
is. It's, oh God. Okay, it's at ShirklesXP.
Ooh.
Well, yeah. Yeah, and I'm never going to change it. I am never going to change it. It is spelled SHIRKLESXP.
If you can't remember that, read Entertainment Weekly.
You will find me in the page.
Easy
Were
to
you
find.
like Shirkles in college or something? Is that where that
well,
comes
yeah,
from?
yeah.
Like,
Did
that
I
was like
tell you this?
Maybe.
Yeah, no, my sophomore year roommate called me Shirkles, and I was like, great. And the XP is another story.
Windows XP. You just love Windows XP so much.
It was partly that, and also because
Wow.
oh my God, and I thought I was being hilarious.
I
'Cause
know
didn't
Shirley
anybody-
XP well enough.
I didn't. Look, there weren't that many. I didn't have that many pals on Twitter, and I was like, "Oh, it's funny."
Yeah.
Tag all.
And I remember when we hired you at the Atlantic, like, so I knew you were coming aboard, but you hadn't joined yet.
Yeah.
You started faving my tweets, and I was like, who the fuck is Shirley XP? Like, who is this? And then I realized it was
It
Shirley.
was a good fun time for everybody.
Yep.
Man,
And
I feel like I should.
And then we
this
were
has been a
together
good
for
fun
the
time
end of a
for everyone.
website.
Yeah.
We were together for the sinking of the ship.
That's right. We watched it go down, we clung onto a float,
Yes,
and then Johan
and
Griffith pulled us out.
And I enjoyed. We had like this private Slack. Griffin's like,
I'm
There
starting to
was-
agree
yeah.
with Ben.
There was a Slack that was just what was it? Cut wire.
Downed wire.
Down
Okay,
wire.
it's funny.
Down
Atlantic Wire. I get
Whatever.
it. Thank you all
Then we
for
had
listening.
Furious.
Anyway, wait. I feel like
Please
yeah.
remember to
Furious.
rate, review, and
Furious.
subscribe.
Shout out
Furious.
Furious.
Thanks to Ann Traguda for our social media, Joe Bowen and Pat Reynolds for our artwork, Lee Montgomery for our theme song. Go to blankies.reddit.com for some real nerdy shit. Tune in next week for the ice storm.
Oh, it's going to get stormy. A storm is coming.
Freeze.
Chill, everybody. All right, everyone.
The ice storm cometh.
Perfect.
And as always, musical guest, Mr. Potter. No. I might ask you to set me up.
Sure. What do you want me to say?
Let me find it here.
Is it a Winslet quote?
No,
like
there's the
something-
impression I wanted, though. Obviously.
Hello, Fanny.
Do you want to
That's
do?
fine.
Do you want to do Alan?
Ooh.
Ooh,
Ugh.
Alan.
Because I'm going to whiff on
Because
this.
my girlfriend keeps
Do it.
going like he's so handsome. I'm like, I mean, he's striking.
Save
He's
it
handsome
for
enough.
the mic.
God damn it.
I got to talk about it.
Okay,
Where's
I'll
this quote?
save
That was scary.
Hello. What is it?
Hello.
Looking for something,
No, that's not very
Potter.
No.
What does he say to Harry?
He's
Class
like,
is
no,
dismissed.
he goes, Harry Potter,
Harry
a new
Potter.
celebrity.
Our new celebrity.
Is his teeth? Is it just constantly clenched when he's?
I
Talking?
think it's like his like somehow he just makes a word like drip out of his mouth
And
somehow.
he
you know,
doesn't
like,
breathe out of his
It's his
nose. It
lips.
sounds like
Oh,
also.
true.
Mm.
Shirley Lee.
Where was this
My
quote?
name doesn't have enough syllables to make
It's
it fun.
true. What's your middle name?
Shirley, actually.
Oh, right. We talked about.
Okay, are you on the quotes page?
Oh, me? Oh,
Yeah.
no. I can get on the quotes page if you want me to. Want me to get on those quotes?
Yeah.
Your iPad is so comically large.
It's
Compared to your
a
body.
normal size iPad.
No, it's just
case
it's
is
the
big.
case. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, because I dropped one. So now I got this heavy duty, like.
I mean, that's like a real heavy duty case.
yeah.
Should test it.
Wow, this is rated PG? What the fuck is even remotely PG in this movie? All right. What do you want? What do you
Okay,
want?
where is it here? I had it. Oh, fuck.
It's all the Rickman.
Yeah.
Too much.
So thank you for being on time. And now
So
that we're
thrilled to start 45 minutes late.
Okay,
No, this is part of the process.
So it's like fifth
No,
or
I'm
sixth
tired.
down. It's the one that starts with "Have you really been to the East Indies, Colonel?"
Sure.
Do you see it?
I see it.
Okay,
Am I Margaret?
you're Margaret.
Oh my God.
All right. Do you want to do it, Shirley?
No, you go ahead. This is fine.
All right, fine. Are we going?